2016 American Quarter Horse Association Racing Champions Ceremony. Live from Heritage Place in Oklahoma City, here's your host, Chris Katulak.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the AQHA Champion Racing Ceremony as we recognize the 2016 AQHA Racing Champions. As the voice from above said, I am Chris Katulak, or as Peggy Brown of Mark and Peggy Brown says, I am Mr. Ask the Vet from the Track Magazine monthly columnist, as my bride, Dr. Kay Thurman Katulak, DVM, writes for monthly. But I'm glad to be here as well, as is my co-host. You'll know his voice for sure from nearby Remington Park as the announcer and publicity director in Dale Day. The Dale Day, that's his Twitter handle.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Congratulations first to all of you, because you are all winners, and some of you will even receive some awards tonight. So may the vote be with you. Good luck this evening.
Thank you, Dale. Of course, we want to recognize some special guests in attendance this evening, and they include AQHA President Sandy Arledge of Encinitas, California, AQHA Second Vice President Dr. Jim Hurd of College Station, Texas, AQHA Executive Committee member Stan Weaver of Big Sandy, Montana, and Butch Wise of El Reno, Oklahoma, all of which will be helping us out with our presentations this evening. Thank you. We also have with us AQHA's Executive Vice President, that is Craig Huffines, in from Amarillo to help out with us. So we appreciate Mr. Huffines being with us as well. And we want to thank you, not only you, the folks here with us at Heritage Place, where champions are sold here in the Heritage Place Sale Pavilion, but also watching at home live on the AQHA.com feed. We welcome you all into your living rooms here at Heritage Place for tonight's big show. As I mentioned, we do have a special guest. In case you haven't had opportunity to understand that, we will fill you in very shortly here. At this time, it's my pleasure to invite to the stage already. You can see Quarter Horse Hall of Famer Ben Hudson is with us, and AQHA Second Vice President Dr. Jim Hurd, who, by the way, Jim was also recently inducted into the Texas Cowboy Hall of Fame. They are going to introduce our invited and very special guest. Ben?
Thank you very much. Back during the November sale for the last 5 or 6 years, we have put on a program Track Magazine has in cooperation with Heritage Place called A Night with the Legends of American Quarter Horse Racing. It's been, in my nearly 50 years in this business, it's been one of the things I've been proudest of. I always wanted to get Wayne Lukas to show up, but every year, the first week in November, he's always trying to win another Breeders' Cup race to make sure that he's always number one in Breeders' Cup victory, and so we've never been able to have him. I mentioned to Dr. Graham back during the November sale, I said, you know what I think I want to do, because Wayne's never going to quit training and he's never going to quit trying to win the Breeders' Cup races. I said, I want to have him come and speak during the January sale just before the Champions deal, and we got that okayed with Heritage Place and with AQHA, and I thank both of them for allowing us to bring Wayne over here. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to be around Wayne several times, and from Pomona to Pimlico, and it's always been a great moment, and I have some favorite memories there, but I'm not going to tell you about those because I want Wayne to have the time to tell you something. But I had a guy from Kansas, and I hope he's here tonight, named Dave Toll, who 10 days ago, 10 days ago, he sent me an email and a couple of pictures of Wayne when he won the 1968 Northeast Kansas Quarter Horse Association Futurity. And I want to read this note from Dave, and this is really a neat deal, and it won't take long, and then I'm going to let Jim have the ball, and then we'll let Wayne have it. It says, Ben, I asked George Atkins to send these two pictures. Since you have been so instrumental in getting Wayne to speak at the Heritage Winter Sale, I thought you might enjoy this. Wayne showed up at Blue Stem Downs in Emporia, Kansas in 1968 as a relative unknown in our part of the world. Darrell Hare was racing secretary. I helped manage the track as a newcomer to quarter horse racing. We only had 2 horse barns on the track, and they were taken up by the locals and longtime participants. Lukas was assigned to a 4H cattle barn with wood fence panels. He never complained a second. He went to the local lumber yard, picked up a truckload of plywood and lined the stalls. He went to the local florist and showed up with potted flowers, etc., for the shed row. He met all the local contingent with a smile and a firm handshake. Wayne was training a string of horses for Herbert J. Alves of Lake Pryor, Minnesota. Included in that stable was a green 2-year-old named Trouble Straw, entered in the Northeast Futurity Trials. We all stood in awe when Robert Adair showed up to ride the colt in these trials. He was winning for fun when he got his first look at the crowded little grandstand so close to the track. The horse shied badly and really got beat, but he made the finals. Lukas told Adair to come back in a week and he would have that problem taken care of. Wayne asked where he could find some kids and pay them to make noise in the grandstand. I helped him get the kids, and he rewarded them each with a 50-cent piece while he led the colt down to the grandstand. The kids ran up and down the bleachers, yelled and hollered, and threw paper cups around. Trouble Straw unnerved a bit, so he asked those kids to come back the next day, do the same thing, and get another 50-cent piece. Adair returned for the finals. He came in the racing office that morning and asked to use a phone. Needless to say, that was before cell phones. I assume he called his agent in California, and I assume the agent asked him where he was. Anyway, he replied something like, "Hell, I don't know, some one-horse town in Kansas." Trouble Straw and Adair blew them away in the finals. And he sent a couple of pictures along with it, and I meant to bring them tonight, and I forgot. It says, in that picture, former AQHA President Al Becker and Dick Burton are holding the blanket. A few years later, with the help of Brad Tate and Gordon Crone, we were able to get Wayne out to our Kansas Quarter Horse Racing Association annual convention in Wichita as a great speakers. Folks for Heritage Place, including Karen and I, are in for a big treat at Heritage. I remarked after he finished speaking at our convention, that guy could make you want to buy a horse, even if you were someone who would never even have given a thought of owning a horse. That's it. Thank you, Wayne. We're glad to have you here. Jim's going to say a couple of words, and then we'll be ready for you.
Dr. Hurd.
Hey, good. Good, thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Before I introduce Wayne, let's take just a few moments and thank Ben and Track Magazine for allowing us to have Wayne with us here tonight. Ben, thank you so very much. It's a great honor for me to be able to introduce our friend Wayne Lukas tonight. As all of us know, Wayne is an iconic legend in both quarter horse and thoroughbred racing. But until you hear his record, you really don't realize the magnitude of his accomplishments. With a race win record of 70 stakes races in 1985, 64 stakes wins in 1986, and 92 stakes race wins in 1987, Wayne earned the Eclipse Award as the nation's outstanding thoroughbred trainer from 1985 through 1987. He earned this prestigious award again in 1994. Recognized as the recipient of the Eclipse Award of Merit in 2013, he has won 14 Triple Crown Classics, including the 2013 Preakness with Oxbow, the 2000 Belmont with Commendable, the 1999 Kentucky Derby and Preakness with Charismatic, the 1996 Kentucky Derby and Belmont with Grindstone, the 1995 Kentucky Derby and Belmont with Thunder Gulch, the 1995 Preakness with Timber Country, the 1994 Preakness and Belmont with Tabasco Cat, the 1988 Kentucky Derby with the Great Filly winning colors, the 1984 Preakness with Pank's Prospect, and the 1980 Preakness with Codex. That's 4 wins at the Kentucky Derby, 6 wins at the Preakness, and 4 wins at the Belmont, making him the leading trainer of Triple Crown Classic races in the industry. In fact, Wayne won 6 Triple Crown races with 5 different horses in a row, a feat that seems likely to stand forever. He's trained 26 Eclipse Award champions, a record, 3 of whom were Horse of the Year. Among the records he holds is career wins, as I just mentioned, in Triple Crown races with 14, as well as the most victories and money won in Breeders' Cup races with 21 Breeders' Cup wins. Wayne leads all trainers in that category. In quarter horse racing, Wayne trained 23 world champion quarter horses, which I think is fitting with us here tonight, including a year as trainer of two-time Horse of the Year, Dash for Cash. He has saddled winners of over $275 million. Wayne was the nation's leading money-earning trainer from '83 until '92, and again in '94 and '95. In 1987, he became the first trainer to lead in both money, with $17.5 million, and wins with 343 wins in a year. Inducted in the American Academy of Achievement in 1988, the National Museum of Racing's Hall of Fame in 1999, the Kentucky Horse Racing Hall of Fame, and the Texas Horse Racing Hall of Fame in 2007, Wayne is the only man in history to be inducted into both the Thoroughbred Horse Racing Hall of Fame and the American Quarter Horse Hall of Fame. In 2002, he was the HBPA Man of the Year, and in 2014, he received the Saratoga Red Jacket Award for Outstanding Achievement. The Kentucky Derby Museum dedicated a wing honoring him, and last fall at Texas A&M, we dedicated the D. Wayne Lukas Gallery of Racing that includes pictures of all of his classic winners and Breeders' Cup winners. A little known fact about Wayne is that he was instrumental in the design and the start of Heritage Place facility. He was also one of the original partners in this facility. Listing Wayne's accomplishments does not tell you enough about Wayne Lukas. He's been the face and spokesperson for thoroughbred racing for years. He is the most optimistic man you'll ever meet. He is considered an outstanding teacher of trainers, with outstanding trainers Todd Pletcher, Aaron McLaughlin, Dallas Stewart, Randy Bradshaw, Mike Maker, and his late son Jeff, having served as his assistants. Tonight we're honored that Wayne has taken the time to share some of his thoughts and wisdom with us. Wayne, thank you so much for coming and sharing your time with us.
Thank you, Dr. Hurd. Thank you, Ben. Ladies and gentlemen, Wayne Lukas.
You know how all this stuff works, Wayne.
Boy, after hearing that, I wish I'd have charged Ben a little bit more to come here. He laid it on a little thick. I'm really, really tickled to be here and share the honors with you tonight as we recognize the quarter horse champions. It is so special for me because my heart is still with these horses. They were my early beginning. They got me pretty much along the path before I turned to thoroughbred racing. And I appreciate and recognize so much what it takes to get one of these trophies. And I really, really salute you. And I know that you've done a great job if you've gotten this far with a horse, and I really salute you. I don't want to go any further. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Ben for making the travel arrangements to get me here tonight. You know, it's amazing how much more you see of the countryside when you come by bus. I'd like to introduce the best horse person in our house, my wife, Lori. She's been a quarter horse judge for 22 years, and she does a pretty good job of keeping me in line, as you might guess. I asked her the other day, I said, in your wildest dream, did you ever think that you'd be married to a guy that won 4 Kentucky Derbies? And she looked at me and said, Wayne, you're not in my wildest dreams. It seems like just a little while ago that Mel Hatley, great Oklahoma friend, Bob Moore, and I got together at the Steak and Ale over on Meridian Avenue, and we sat down and we said, we need to get a high-class, first-class sales company. We sat there and talked, and Bob Moore actually was a little bit negative. Mel wasn't too sure. Of course, I said, hell, we'll have a hell of a facility. This thing will grow, and we'll sell the best quarter horses in the world. I think we can rival Ruidoso. So they kind of said, well, let's do it. And what do you think? I said, well, we got to get a Texan. We can't do it with just us. So we called up Dr. Charlie Graham, and he was all for it. I said, let's get the most prominent Oklahoma guy we can find, and we called up Walter Merrick. We had a little meeting. We didn't have much money, but we got together. Mel found this tract of land here. We got together, and at our first meeting, Johnny T.L. Jones and Bob Gentry from down in Texas came, so we let them get in also. Now we got it ready to go, and so we sent it to the architects, and they looked at all this, or the land and the slope and everything, and they said, well, here's how we can build it. Believe it or not, I had drawn out what I thought should be this facility on a napkin. And Mel Hadley just pulled it out of his pocket and said, can you build it this way? And they said, yeah, that's not a bad design. And that's how Heritage Place came to pass. The other thing, thank you. The other thing that I'm proud of is there's one time a thoroughbred horse has been Horse of the Year in the American Jockey Club, and that's Lady Secret, an Oklahoma bred. Not many people know that. Lady Secret was raised right out on our place Mel and I had out there in Norman, Oklahoma. What had happened, I went to the National United Nations Handicap, and I was bored. I had a horse there called Effervescing, which Mel and I owned. And then I was sitting there, and they ran a grass race. And this little filly went down through there, and it was a $35,000 grass race. And she ran fourth, but golly, she tried. She laid it down, and I thought, man, that filly is really special. When they came off back the track, I was standing there in the out gap, and when she walked off, she wasn't very well fitted, pretty poor. So I found a friend of mine who was a bloodstock agent, and he was quite a colorful character. And I said, do you know this guy? It was an owner and the trainer were the same guy. And he said, yeah, I know him well. I said, go over there and see if you can buy that filly for me. So he goes over, and he's gone about an hour, and he comes back. He says, you got her. Write a check for $65,000. I said, what? She just ran for 35 an hour ago. He looked at me, and he said, Wayne, it's the American way. A little for me, a little for you, a little for the groom, a little for the exercise rider. I said, you're out of your mind. I said, I'm not going to give 65 for her. And I got to thinking about it, and I thought, hell, I think I will. And I bought her for Bob Spreen, who was a big Cadillac dealer out in Downey, California. Her name was Great Lady M. We took her to Santa Anita. I got her fit, got her going good, and damned if she was really good. She won a number of stakes. Now Secretariat is really hitting the front page, is really good. I thought they were breeding him wrong. I don't say that, lightly, but I thought they were breeding him to mares that were distance mares. So I said to Mel, let's breed her to Secretariat, Great Lady M. And believe it or not, they accepted the nomination. We bred her, and we got the rattiest little nothing you ever saw. Lady Secret she was a little gray filly, weighed about 700 pounds, soaking wet. Had nothing that you'd like. You know, we all fancy Jim Hurd, and all of us Butch Wise, we all think we're experts in conformation. Well, if you looked at her, you'd walk right by her. But Gene Klein, the owner of the San Diego Chargers at that time, was just getting into racing, and he became very prominent. But he said, Wayne, I want some babies running out in the front yard. When I have breakfast, I want them out there. And I thought, damn, he lived on a rock in Rancho Santa Fe, literally. And I said, well, I got a couple babies that my friend and I, Mel Hadley, have. And he said, sell them to me. And I said, well, I'll get an appraise on them. He said, no, to hell with that. Just tell me how much they are. So I said, okay, smartass. $200,000 apiece. He says, done. Ship them out. So now, before we can ship, there was 3 of them. Before we can ship them, the first one gets pneumonia and dies. The second one is really a pretty chestnut filly. He named her after his wife, Gene's Lady. She ran out $998,000, just short of $1 million. The third one is this little gray ratty filly, and we don't know what we're going to do with her. So now we get breaking her and getting her going. And I said to my son, Jeff, we got to protect him. We got to at least get some black type on her. I said, I know Gene's ladies kind of carried the ball here, but let's see if we can do something. Put her in the trailer, run her up to Bay Meadows, and run her in that little cheap steak up there. He said, just drive her. I said, yeah, drive her up there, run her, and bring her back. So Jeff, my son, takes her up there. I don't hear from him. That was before simulcast, so we didn't get to see it. About 9:30, 10 o'clock, he calls me. I said, how'd that turn out? He said, Dad, you wouldn't believe it. He said, she run right off the screen. He said, it was like 2 different races. And I said, are you kidding me? How bad was the field? He said, I don't know, but he said, Dad, I'm telling you, this one can really run. I said, oh, hell, bring her home. I didn't know she was going to be Thoroughbred Horse of the Year. She won 11 grade 1s that year. That's how bad I read her. And beat the Colts 3 times. And was voted Horse of the Year, the only Oklahoma bred to ever achieve that great distinction. And it was really something. When I first came out of the teaching profession and coaching profession, I went to Claremore, Oklahoma. I didn't stay there very long, but I went there and thought that it would be okay. And I was freezing to death, and we eventually went to Laredo. But I set up shop at Thundering Downs. It was a little training center. I don't know if it's still there or if any of you old-timers would even remember it. But it was interesting to get indoctrinated into Oklahoma's mentality in the quarter horse business. I'm in there, and I've got 4 or 5 yearlings turning 2. And there was a guy, and I think his name was Woodson, but I'm not sure. He was huge. He was overweight. Great big guy, very overweight. And he had a big wooden rocking chair. And he set it in the corner. And he'd come in there about 9 o'clock and rock in that big rocking chair, huge guy. And he'd make him bring his horses around. He'd look at them and then send them off. And I thought, damn. He says to me, son, what are you doing down there all morning? And I said, well, he said, you got them in those bidding rigs and you're driving them in a round pen. I said, well, I'm trying to put a headset on them and get them broke and teach them something. He said, well, let me help you. He said, I got a little old place out here about 8-9 miles. And I got a big old flatbed straight truck out here. And we'll take your babies and put them in the truck. We'll just head and tail them. Put them in the truck and we'll go out to my place. And he said, I got this long lane out there. He said, now we'll drive to the back of that lane. And he said, we'll tie them to the fence. I'll slip over and give them each 2 or 3 cc's of Ritalin. Then we'll have us an iced tea. And we'll finish our iced tea. Then you can untie them from the fence, and we'll get in the truck, and we'll chase them up to the barn down that long lane. Now, the first 2 that get there, we'll keep them, and you can give the rest away. That was my indoctrination into the Oklahoma mindset. It's amazing, when I came over from the quarter horse industry and started training at Santa Anita in Hollywood Park, it was hard to overcome. I was really proud of my heritage in the quarter horse business, really proud. But everybody referred to me as a quarter horse trainer. When I won the Preakness in 1980, the first classic I ever ran in, somebody said, who won the Preakness? And they said, the quarter horse trainer. And then I won a couple other classic races, and every time, for about 10 years, I was a quarter horse trainer. And I was proud of it, but it was funny how the thoroughbred people never really recognized that maybe there was a crossover there or something. I was always the quarter horse trainer, won that grade 1 or whatever. In the early years, when back in the mid-'60s, and I was down at Ruidoso at the sales, I felt that the pedigrees in the quarter horse industry were a little bit shaky. There would be 1 or 2 dams on the pedigree page in the catalogs there at Ruidoso, and you'd look at those individuals and you didn't have a feel for the pedigrees. Now, as you look at these catalogs here at Heritage Place in these years, the pedigrees are refined. You got 1 and 2 dams. You got the stakes winners. I never thought that the pedigrees were very accurate in the 60s. So what I did, and so many of us, is we started studying conformation. And I kept trying to, I didn't have a lot of money anyhow. I kept trying to buy horses that looked like racehorses. Had the muscle tone, the balance, the neck, and everything. And I tried to buy those horses. And it's amazing that when I got into the thoroughbred business, and our business is built pretty much on buying yearlings at Keeneland in the fall, that I think has been the most valuable thing that I ever had happen to me. Having to study those horses at Riadosa and study those horses that I didn't think had good pedigrees, but I bought and then turned out to be racehorses, has carried me, I think, in the thoroughbred business. Almost all of the champions we've had in the thoroughbred business we bought as yearlings. And I talked to Bob Baffert about that, and he had to do the same thing. He was in Arizona and running quarter horses and so forth, and he says the same thing, and he's very good at it. He's extremely good at finding a yearling in a crowd. So I think that early background in the quarter horse business has really served me well. I've been at this about 65 years, and I'd like to share some ideas with you. One of the things that makes us different than all the other quarter horse disciplines or thoroughbred disciplines that there are out there is that when you lead a horse out and put it in a race, you are taking on a number of investors. And that sight is lost by a lot of people. You have to remember that when you lead him out there, that there are people in the grandstand that are going to invest their money that you have done a good job of getting that horse to the win. Now, he's only going to invest with you probably for 15 minutes, but he is an investor. He's just as much an investor if he bought Ford stock or AT&T or anything else. And we have to concentrate on protecting him at all times, or her. And people lose sight of that. They think people go, they bet on him and that's it. But we owe it to them to give them the best chance. Now, Ben Hudson, in his Track magazine, writes an article that I've read frequently that says, if you ruled the horse world, what would you do? Well, when you try to protect that investor, that guy that's betting on your horse, the medication problem comes front and center. Now, there's been all kinds of theories of how we can protect the racing industry through the medication various ways. I don't think it's that hard. I know there's a couple of commissioners here, one of them from New Mexico, and I'm going to throw it out there. Here's what I think has to happen. First of all, the track's got the most to lose. So I think that we take a percentage of the handle and force all racetracks to fund a testing laboratory. Now, I sat down with the head testing official for the Olympics, and he tells me that if he had the funding, that he could absolutely tell you if you change tap water. With that, if we have a fail-proof test, and we know that the Olympic testing process is so sophisticated that they took on the whole country of Russia and made it stand up, we can damn sure make it stand up for some horse trainer. Now, here's the kicker. We have funding at a laboratory that is absolutely the best. We have a super test that it cannot fail under any kind of scrutiny. And then you classify the drugs. And I'm talking only now about enhancing drugs, performance-enhancing drugs. Now, when you get a positive test and you know it's an enhancing drug, you rule off the owner. I'll tell you what will happen. We'll clean up our sport with a grassroots approach. You take somebody that's sitting in this audience or in the thoroughbred arena at Keeneland or at the Kentucky Derby, and they know that if that thing comes back with a enhancing drug, a performance-enhancing drug, that you are going to shut down their $1 million investment. Here's what will happen. They're going to pull John Doe, their trainer, in, and they're going to say, don't you ever put me in that position. You make sure that you stay within the guidelines. If a banker has a guy that's embezzling and he has a teller, he's interviewing those guys and making damn sure he's checking their background, everything. And yet we go out. I've seen guys at Keeneland give $500,000 for a horse, give it to a guy that they just met, puts it in a 2-horse trailer, and they don't even ask him where it went. They will, as owners, as an owner, you will start to scrutinize who you let run your business and take care of it. That's a little bit harsh, but it'll only happen a couple times, and they'll get it right. The other thing that's amazing is that you look around, the same veterinarian, same feed man, same blacksmith, all the riders are at your disposal. What's the difference? How come some guys win and some guys don't? Well, first of all, the horse is the most important ingredient. But the guy comes, the feed man comes, he drops off the feed to you, he moves over and goes right to your competition, drops off the feed there, the grain, the blacksmith shoes yours, then he shoes your competition. What's the difference? Well, there's 4 things that a trainer can bring to the table: experience, a work ethic, communication, and honesty and integrity. Let's take experience. Experience is tough because it gives the test first and the lesson afterwards. There's no how-to book. Nowhere in the library, no chip, nothing on all the computers or anything that says how to win the Kentucky Derby, the All-American, or the Kansas Fraternity, or the Rainbow. There is no how-to book. It's experience. So if you live long enough to get a wealth of experience, I think it's important that we, in our latter years, and there's a lot of great trainers out there, many of them sitting in this room, it is important that we share these ideas. You know, it's amazing that a basketball or a football coach will go to a clinic and diagram his whole offense on the board for everybody. In racing, you can't even get another trainer to go to dinner with you and explain what he's doing. So if you're looking at yearlings, hell, share, get out, ask questions. If I were going to look at these yearlings here, Jim Hurd's an authority on conformation. Butch Wise, Roger Daly, naming guys that are out there in the back. I'd get those guys and I'd say, what's the best part of this horse? What do you like best about him? What makes him better than the one next to him? I'd pick their brains. You're only going to win about 20 or 25% of the time. I've won 25% of my races, and hell, I got $275 million that I've won. I don't have any of it, but I won it. The other thing is, don't be afraid to lose. Winning and losing are both temporary. Don't be afraid to go out there. We came over from the quarter horse business, ran those fillies at the Colts, actually won. There's only 3 fillies that ever won the Kentucky Derby. Winning Colors in 1980 is one of them. I always said sex only matters when you're having it. It doesn't have any bearing on where you run your filly. If she's the best filly, Winning Colors walking around in the Kentucky Derby, hell, it was obvious she was the biggest, strongest, fastest one. If you looked at all those horses and the good quarter horse people and good horsemen in this room and saw them all going around, they say, hell, I'm going to bet on the big gray one. Don't be afraid to run sometimes where people say you shouldn't. I've made a living running where I don't belong. It's okay that you spill a lot of the buckets of milk. Just don't lose the cow. Get in there and run. Put them out there. Jim pointed out we've won 14 Triple Crown races. I think about 6 of them we ran where we didn't belong. We weren't supposed to be in them. People looked at us and said, you know, failure's not losing. Failures means that you didn't get up and try again and again. You never let failure get to your mind, but more importantly, don't let it get to your heart. Just it's a game of where you're going to lose more than you win. So don't be afraid to step up and bounce back. You got to have an attitude. I think that the attitude is the most important thing. It's the best decision you make every day, and you make it early in the morning, and you stay with it and make it a positive attitude. I got a grandson, and like so many of us, Jeff's only son, by the way, he was in Little League. And he always said, we were at Los Alamitos, he'd say, Granddad, we're playing in this game and we're playing in that game. Come and watch us. Well, hell, you know, chore time in the afternoon at the racetrack. It's around 4 o'clock. That's when the games were. So I didn't go, and I didn't go. Well, he said, we're playing in this big game. Please come. I said, I promise you, I'll be there today. So now I'm hustling around. It's getting close to 4 o'clock. And I thought, oh my gosh, I got to get going. So I'd hustle out there. And Brady, his name is, the game's already started. So I go around the back of the dugout and rattle on the fence and said, Brady, I'm here. I wanted to let him know that I did show up. So he comes around and says, hi, I'm glad you're here. I look out and I said, Brady, is that the score, 6-0? He said, oh, don't worry about that. We haven't batted yet. His attitude's good. That same little guy graduated from the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, is now, last month, been appointed mission commander for Air Force One. Your attitude is important. I think you got to think big. Take the limits off yourself. So many people think, geez, I'm here at Salazar, I'm here at Ruidoso. I can never probably be in the Kentucky Derby. Hell, take the limits off yourself. Think big, act big, dream big, and big things will happen. Trust me. Go after it a little bit. Our successes motivate us. Our failures educate us. So don't be afraid to step out of the box and try something. Lombardi said, the great Green Bay Packer coach, that the quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to his commitment to excellence. Just make sure that when you do try something, that you do it with excellence. Make sure that every day that you improve. I tell my exercise riders, I'm the trainer, but I cannot beat them unless you help me. You have got to carry out my thoughts on that horse. You have got to get up every day. If you're an exercise rider, I don't want you. If you want to be an assistant trainer that gallops the horses for me, I can use you. But I want you to get over the mindset that you just have to exercise them. I want you to get into the mindset of being able to help me in all times. The other thing is communication. You got to cover these owners up. And boy, believe me, with the internet now, they get a lot of information. I ran a horse the other day, and my owner called up. He ran second, and he called up and he said, you know, I just got the gait analysis. I said, what? He said, I got the gait analysis in that race. He shortened his stride 8 inches in the last 16th of a mile. I said, what the hell? He said, yeah. He said he shortened it. I said, well, he was tired. I said, I said, you don't need to subscribe to that. I could have told you he's tired. Cover them up. Give them so much information that an ownership is the basis of it all. Make sure they feel like they're a part of it. And then the honesty and integrity, give them a chance. Damn it all, give them a chance. If they invest their money and they throw in with you, give them a chance to win. Find out. The beautiful part of the thoroughbred business is you can find your level. Now, the quarter horse business, I always thought you better play at the top 2%. If you want to be real successful. But in the thoroughbred business, hell, it doesn't matter what you gave for him. There's a level where he will be successful, and you have the thrill of winning a race. You've got to respect the game. It's very important. You make a difference. One of the things I think is reach out to your friends. Share those. You guys that won here tonight had the greatest experiences in 2016 you could have. You're going to walk up here and pick up a trophy. You have got a world champion. Now, there's thousands of them tried to do that. Share that. Tell people about it. Take a friend to the races every time. We do something, about 25 years ago, I started something that has been so effective you wouldn't believe it. Every time I win a race, I go through the crowd and I just walk up to a perfect strangers, couple, usually find one 6, 7, 8 years old, have a boy or a girl, and I say, come on, we're going to go down and get our picture taken with this horse. And the parents say, really? And I say, yeah, don't worry about it, I'll bring him back. I take them, for damn sure. I take them down. I take them down to the winner's circle. We get our picture taken. They're trembling like a chihuahua. Unbelievable. They are so excited. And then after the picture, I tell Lori, I say, Lori, take them back to their parents and tell them that if they'll wait with digital cameras 15 or 20 minutes, that they can get that picture, and it's on us. It is amazing how they respond. I've got letters upon letters where some kid says, I saw a kid at the Derby this year. He was about 22, 23. He said, do you remember me? And I said, no, I don't. He said, when I was 9 years old, you picked me out of the crowd and took me to the winner's circle. He said, I have that picture on my office wall. And he said, do you remember what you told me? And I said, no, I don't. He said, you told me not to bet on the horses, buy books. Remember this. People will little remember what you say, will little remember what you do, but they never, ever, ever forget how you make them feel. Make sure that you reach out to somebody in the industry, some child, somebody, your neighbor, your friend, and make them feel good. And as far as kids go, you might be the only one person in the world, but to the world, you might be the only one. Don't ever underestimate that. Your most important possessions are your memories. You people tonight have had some great ones in 216, and I applaud you and recognize you, as I know it's been wonderful. Make sure you make the most of those memories. Thank you.
Don't go anywhere, Coach.
Oh, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wayne Lukas.
Thank you.
Okay, we have, fortunately, Wayne went a little bit longer than we expected, but that's good news because we got to see those golden words or hear the golden words.
Did I go over?
No,
Really?
no. You stuck it. You nailed it. We do want some question and answers. We've got a full house. We don't want anyone to go because as soon as we're finished with some questions and answers, we're going to go right into our award ceremony. And I will work the crowd. I don't have a wireless, but I can communicate with you, and Dale Day is over there. But, Coach, I have to ask you something. And you and I have similar roots in thoroughbred and quarter horse racing. Mine were thoroughbred first as opposed to yours. But we have a similarity also in that I used to keep a photo of Vince Lombardi in my basement, and I used to look at it. I love those glasses and that attitude he had. You already quoted Vince, but Vince Lombardi also said, perfection is unattainable, but if you chase perfection, you can catch excellence. It is about horse racing, but it comes from the people first, and you had to deal with people right off the bat as a teacher and a coach, yeah?
Right. Winning is not a sometime thing. You don't win some of the time. You don't do things right some of the time. You do things right all the time. Vince Lombardi.
All right, so if you have any questions, please come to me or come to Dale Day. Just raise your hand. Here we go.
Anything you'd like.
How long was the quarter horses before the transformation? And thanks to the Kansas Futurity and Ben Hudson, we know.
A long time, but for a long time, nobody knew it. I started out, probably right out of high school, we started running at Park Jefferson, South Dakota, Atticat, Lincoln, Nebraska, and those little places, Mobridge, Fort Pierre, all up through there. I was coaching in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and we'd run in the bushes and everything, and then I got a little bit of a break and started getting a little bit further. I think the first time I ran in Oklahoma was Salisaw, the year that EasyJet won the Futurity in January. And I knew right then and there we were in trouble. We didn't have horses that could run with him. But I stayed with it all the way to 74. And then in 74, my son kept pushing me. He said, Dad, we can beat him across town at Hollywood Park in Santa Anita just as easy as we're beating them here. I said, man, we got a pretty good hold of them here. We're beating the hell out of them. And he said, no, we need to go over there. So from 74 to 78, I trained both. And then 78, I walked right out the door of Los Al and never looked back.
Trained quarter horse and thoroughbred.
Best horse for quarter horse ever trained, Wayne, and best thoroughbred ever.
My dear friend Bubba Cassio sent Dash for Cash out to Los Alamitos when he was turning 3. And we kept him there, and Bubba came in and out, and we became dear friends. And I was feeding him and paying all the bills, and Bubba was taking all the percentages when he won. And after about, maybe 6-8 months, Bubba said, "Wayne, you're doing a good job. Just go ahead and you train him." And so I was fortunate enough to be listed as trainer when he set the world's record that stood all those years. And so Dash for Cash would be number 1 without a doubt in the quarter horses, and thanks to Bubba and his generosity ascending him. And then as far as the thoroughbreds, I'm not so sure. It's kind of the last girl you dance with is the best. I've been blessed with so many good ones. I had a filly named Landalucy that was so brilliant that it was just amazing. She won the Lassie Stakes by 21 lengths, and she only had 5 outs, and she died of a blood disorder. But Serena Song, Lady Secret, Winning Colors, I don't know. Every one of them have a special place in my heart.
Wayne, we've got a question. You're talking about generations of racing, quarter horse and thoroughbred. Generations here, Colt Vessel and Bonnie Vessel, son and daughter of late Scoop Vessels. Colt, what's your question? Bonnie, what wife? Beg your pardon.
My question for you is, my dad created quite a splash in this, something that I want to. So my question to you is, what do you tell the guy who's green, and how can I? Where do I go to him?
You mentioned the 4 fundamentals there. What else do you have beyond what the new guy
What
does?
you want to do is, I tell my young guys we're only going to work half days. What they do with the other 12 hours is up to them. But what you want to do is you want to make sure that you rub up against the best possible horseman that you know. And don't be afraid to reach out and ask him. And get a work ethic second to none. If you can't set your alarm at 3:30 in the morning, you're probably not going to work it with me anyhow. But you get up and you make sure that you try to make a difference every single day. You try to improve yourself. I don't care if it's tying your tie, shining your shoes, your penmanship, whatever it is, you improve yourself. And when you lay down at night, you say, "I did make some headway." And learn from everybody. You've got people in this room that are far better horsemen than me. Maybe some of them don't want to work as hard, but they're better. Rub up with them.
And Colt, flowers, plant flowers or put flowers in pots and put them in your hedgerow, right?
Willard Proctor, when we first came over to Santa Anita, we dressed up the barn a little bit, and he said, "I don't know if that son of a bitch can train, but he sure can garden."
Dale, you're out. You're in.
Scott Wells, President and General Manager of Remington Park and Lone Star Park.
Wayne, how do you take a $3,500 claim, little gray mare named Native Empress, and take her to the top of the world?
Well, that's a really interesting story. We're at Ruidoso. I had quit teaching. We're at Ruidoso, and we were in that, was it Oliver's little coffee shop there right out the main gate of Ruidoso, and we're having coffee, Bubba Cassio and I. And Bubba says, "How in the hell are we going to get out of town? I'm dead broke." And I said, "Well, I'm not far behind." And I said, "I got an idea." That was when they rated them AA and AAA and so forth. I said, there's 3 fillies going to run this weekend that are all AA. I said, "We'll claim them all." He said, "What are we going to use for money?" I said, "Well, they won't take your check, but they'll take mine." I said, "They think I have some money." And so he said, "Then what?" I said, "You have 3-0s. You got all those seasons of 3-0s, the All-American winner. We'll give them a season of 3-0s, and we'll sell the fillies for a profit." Bubba says, "I think it's a good idea." So we claimed the 3 of them. We get the one he's referring to, Native Empress, runs for $3,500, and she's, 5th or 6th or something like that. We lead her in, and they used to bring them into the paddock so you could take possession of them. And Bubba says, "Hang on to her, Wayne, let me see something." And he runs his thumb down her shin. And she was so shin bucked that she fell on him and split his lip open. So now we sell the other 2 and we break even. We still didn't make any money, but we got her. I said, "Bubba, he's going to send her down to Tom Neff's, I think it was, down there in Texas. And we get her we get her back at Sunland Park, and Bubba says, you want to train her or I'll train her? I said, no, you train her. So Bubba gets her ready to go and says, I think she can run a little bit. And I said, well, start her. I'm sitting up in the grandstand with a client from Montana, and she blows down through there at Sunland. And he says, boy, that filly was impressive. Do you think they'd sell her? And I said, I bet they will. So I get up, I said, stay right here. I'm going to go see if I can find out. I get up, and I walk around the grandstand for about 30 minutes, have a Coke, come back, and I said, I got a price on her. You can buy her for $15,000. He said, I believe I'll take her. I get her then, and believe it or not, she goes to winning and winning and winning. Of course, Bubba and I thought we really cut a fat hog there, but she goes to winning, and actually, I sold her to the St. Louis Blues Hockey Club for $250,000 in her last sale. I sold her, I think, 6 times.
All right, Butchwise Lazy Ranch.
Over there. Wayne, what?
Where are you?
Over here. Over here, Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
One of the greatest motivational stories you ever told me was about W.T. Young and the committee. When you said, who's driving the car?
Should I tell that?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got 5 minutes, Coach.
All right, here it goes. Bill Young, W.T. Young, was the owner of Overbrook Farm who stood Stormcat. By the way, I bought Stormcat's mother for Bob French at Midland, Texas, and I, through my former father-in-law, trained the grandmother and set a new world's record with her at Ruidoso. And I don't remember what the race was called, but I pull into Hollywood Park, and I'm riding a nice saddle horse and got a big old cotton rope, and I'm leading Crimson Saint, her name was, and I'm leading her around, and they saying, cowboy, you're in the wrong area code here. This is not Ruidoso. And I didn't pay any attention. I'm just grazing her a little bit and leading her around. Well, we stuck her in the gate, and she set a new world's record. But anyhow, then when she had her first foal by Secretariat, I went back and for Bob French bought Terlingua, the mother of Stormcat, and then W.T. Young bought Stormcat and was going to stand him there at Overbrook Farm. So now he's hiring me, and so I come in, and he's got maybe 5 or 6 advisors: the veterinarian, the maintenance man, the stud manager, the yearling manager. I mean, they're all in this room. And I'm kind of doing an interview with them, and we get done, and Bill says, jump in the car, we're going to drive around and look at the farm. And I said, Bill, we're driving around. I said, you know, we had a nice meeting, but I said, I've never worked by committee before. I said, I've always gone to the sale, been my own man, done what I wanted to do. And I said, I never really work by committee, and I'm a little concerned about answering to all those guys as a horse trainer. He couldn't swear. He was such a gentleman, he didn't know how to swear. Even when he tried, he couldn't do it properly. He's driving the car, and he says, Wayne, the committee is driving the car.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be very tough to top that. Coach, ladies and gentlemen, excellence, Wayne Lukas. Let's hear it.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
I don't know if the FCC rules the internet, but we welcome you again on the internet watching. Butch Wise said that Wayne Lukas could say that. I just want the record to show that. All right. Well, if you want to catch some autographs from Wayne Lukas, you can, or wait till after as well. All I have to say before we get started is, Ben Hudson, if you cannot think of what your That Hudson column is going to be for next month, or what your Q&A is going to be, I've got an idea. Thank you, Ben and Dr. Hurd, for bringing Wayne Lukas with us as well. Let's take a deep breath, and here we go.
You've put your heart and your soul into what you have done, and I'm grateful to God, and I'm grateful for you. You have made possible things that I would have never dreamed. I look forward to what you're going to do in the future, and I just want you to know that with every footstep and with every heartbeat, I'm there.
There we go. All right. Again, thank you all for coming this evening. I do have some things to read through before we get started with tonight's affair, but we know that you're in for a fun time, as you always are here. Those of you that are on the flight and you check out when the flight attendant goes through the pre-check list, the oxygen mask, the exit rows, all of that stuff, just bear with me here. I typically nod off at that point, but I'm sure you've got someone sitting next to you that will wake you up when that happens. We do have some preliminaries to go through. The champions' ballots for each equine category are determined by a collection of criteria. We want you to know all of this. Some automatically make the ballot based on earnings or wins, and others are nominated and voted on the ballot with the AQHA Racing Committee. Now, members of the committee's selection committee then review the finalists and cast their ballots to determine each champion. Ballots for breeder, owner, trainer, and jockey of the year consists of the individuals with the best overall placing according to money earned, races won, and of course performance in graded stakes races. Winners are likewise chosen by the champions selection committee. Hang on, no oxygen mask just yet. The 21 subcommittee members are elected by the AQHA Racing Council and by the Racing Committee. They ensure fairness. AQHA rules mandate geographic and possibly gender diversity among the subcommittee members. Individual voting results are made public at the conclusion of tonight's ceremony. So there's our transparency, nothing fake news about this. In each category tonight, we will present the ballot, then announce the winner. And the important part is that if you are accepting an award on stage tonight, we ask that you come to the stage as quickly as you hear your name or your horse mentioned as a winner of that championship, that divisional championship. We encourage you to come forward to the stage. In most cases, we'll show a race on the screens, then list some of the winners' accomplishments, and a complete list of stats for each contender is available at aqha.com/racing. So you know you can follow up that way as well. We're almost finished here with this. If you are an award winner, again, come on up as soon as you can. And speaking of coming on up, we will encourage our AQHA President, Sandy Arledge, to the stage for our awards presentation. Welcome, AQHA President Sandy Arledge. Time to meet the champions. This is for the 2-year-old colt division. The first on the ballot is A Revenant, owned by D. Hubbard, Butch Southway, Johnny Cope, and Rafter W. Of course, A Revenant won the Rainbow Futurity. Next up, Chainman, owned by Benito Arenivas. Onward to Desdemona Rambler, who was bred in Texas and owned by the breeder Dan Grube. DuPont or DuPonte, depending on whichever mood Dale and I were in for at that time. Bred in Texas, owned by Bobby Cox, Paredes, and Paredes. Also, Gamely Ticos up next, owners Arturo and Isidro Reyes. Knock 'em Out Cappy, bred in Oklahoma by D. and Betty Raper. Mr. Apolitical Dash, owned by Rancho El Cabresta Incorporated. Paint My Pilot, bred in Louisiana by Grant Farms LLC. Tarzanito, bred in California by Pat Vischer. The Marfa Lights, trained by AQHA Hall of Famer Jim Helzer. And the AQHA 2016 champion colt, A Revenant. Congratulations to the connections of A Revenant.
There, running in the Rainbow Futurity. A Revenant came away beautifully from the outside. Lethal Class came away well, but got bumped, and shifting ground in and out is Paint My Pilot, but Paint My Pilot is up toward the lead. Paint My Pilot battling away with A Trace at Revenant to the outside. A Revenant, Paint My Pilot, then Lethal Class. A Revenant outside. A Revenant wins the Rainbow Futurity from Paint My Pilot.
Beaten favorite in the Ruidoso Futurity after a rough beginning, but rebounding back to win the Rainbow Futurity. Got all the connections making their way forward to Dale Day, and we're going to have Tom Goncharoff go check in with Dale over on that end, please.
Congratulations, Tom, as you speak for this large winning group. Winning the Rainbow Futurity, almost had the Ruidoso. You romped at both trials. Tell us a little bit about about the year and this Ruidoso runner who really had a spectacular summer?
Well, obviously a really special horse, and want to thank Juliana Hahn-Holt for breeding such a good horse. And special thanks to our terrific partner. Couldn't ask for a better group of guys, and Mike Joyner did a super job. Cody Jensen did a super job riding this horse. It's been a dream year. Heck of a horse. We're tickled to own him.
Again, huge, easy wins in the trials. Of course, the finals are supposed to be a little bit tougher. Did you think maybe after the big trial wins it would not be too difficult in the finals, or did you realize what you might be up against?
No, when you're in those kinds of races running against that class of horse, you know it's going to be tough, and you have to have your best race every time if you're going to win up on the mountain. Everybody that's tried it knows it.
A Revenant champion, Chris.
And we've got Southway, Hubbard, Willis, Joyner represented in some way, shape, or form. Of course, Johnny Coe, part of that winning ownership. Thank you all, and congratulations. Onward now to our 2-year-old filly division, and first up is A's and J's, winner of the Black Gold Futurity, that at the 350-yard distance. Corona's First Diva, winner of the Oklahoma Futurity right here at Remington Park. Dicecapade, bred in Oklahoma by Garvin Kelly and Nancy Yearsley. Hot Indy Chick, bred in New Mexico by Mike Abraham. Louisiana Jewels, who won the Lassie Futurity and finished third in the Berwick Futurity. Miss Alluring Menace, bred in Texas by Scarlet Hill Farm Incorporated. One Hot Habit, owned by Turner Farms. Running Dragon, bred in New Mexico by JJ Limited Partnership. Teller Baja, bred in Oklahoma, owned by Juan Medina. And Water Girl B, who did win the Lee Berwick Futurity. 2-year-old champion filly for 2016 is Corona's First Diva.
They're off on the Oklahoma Futurity. For real comes away sharply to the inside. Corona's First Diva picks up the chase now. Outside, Sweet Annie GL is right there. Farther out, Gronkowski. Corona's First Diva now gets the upper hand. Corona's First Diva trying to hold off good Captain Pepper. It's going to be Corona's First Diva in the Oklahoma Futurity by full length.
There she is, Corona's First Diva by Corona Cartel, the Spit Girl Just Mare Spit Curl Diva, bred in Oklahoma by the Lepic Mixer Partnership, and that partnership is mixing their way onto our stage as well. It is a family affair, obviously, with Mixer, and 2012 Gordon Crow winner in Tom Lepic. Welcome all to the stage, Dale.
Okay, everybody, you can move out to the middle. There you go. Get out there so we can see a little bit. Duke Schultz, trainer, Corona's First Diva. She meant business from the first time she stepped on the track at Remington Park in training races. Did you know then she would be this special?
Well, I mean, you'd like to say that you know, but I mean, when they're doing right and doing everything you ask them, I mean, that's all you can ask for at that point.
Now, we saw the Oklahoma Futurity win. She really didn't have a bad race. The Heritage Place Futurity didn't go her way, but right there in the All-American as well, third. It didn't win, but a very classy performance and showing.
Right. When you can take a little filly like that and compete with the big boys out there in Ruidoso, I mean, it's just a dream come true.
Corona's First Diva racked up a lot of money last year, Chris, and earned the championship.
Congratulations again to Connections of Corona's First Diva. How about that way? All right, we'll move on to the champion 2-year-old gelding division. And what a cavalcade of futurity winners and major futurity winners we have here with the 10. All but one actually did win a major futurity on the AQHA scene. First up is Apolitical Chad, who won the Ruidoso Futurity. First leg, of course, the All-American Triple Crown. On to Chazak, owned by Dutch Masters. That's James Strillman and Denny Boer, the first grader buddies going back to then, winner of the Edberg Futurity. Ian Capo, who did win the Dash for Cash Futurity. High Plains Perry, winner of the $1 million Texas Classic Futurity. Imperial Eagle, winner of the All-American Futurity. Cool and Famous, the son of one famous eagle, 6th in the All-American Futurity. Lotta Bluesman, winner of the Golden State Million. RDD La Hoyan Fast Dash, who did win the Louisiana Quarter Horse Breeders' Sale Futurity. TF Raceway Runner, winner of the $1 million LQHBA Futurity. And finally, Worth Doing, winner of the Deuce. That's the Los Alamitos $2 million Futurity. And the 2016 2-year-old gelding is Imperial Eagle.
And the youngsters are ready. They're locked up. And they're off. Imperial Eagle came out a bit Got out in front, showing good speed on the inside is Silk on Fire V. Driving is Chain Man. Between them, Dash to Desirio. Down the outside, J and Mr. Destiny and a fancy La Jolla's on the outside. Out in front, Imperial Eagle. Imperial Eagle in the center, and now J and Mr. Destiny on the outside. A photo between Imperial Eagle and J and Mr. Destiny. A great finish.
Congratulations to Imperial Eagle by One Famous Eagle out of the Genuine Strawfly mare in Genuine Joy, owned by 83-year-old owner Chuck Robinson from North Carolina. This guy was purchased at auction for just $40,000, and he went on to do very good things. Correct me, 48 things. My mountain mama is here, and Freda Draper, part of the Winning Connections.
All right. Talking with trainer Tony Cedillo. Tony, this horse was dominant, and if there was a race in New Mexico that fit, he was in there. Tell us what it was like to have a horse that was just so talented and ready to go week after week after week.
Well, it's a special horse, and it's hard to find one of those. And, I think I got to give credit to my barn. I got some good help, and they're the ones that kept bringing him back time after time every time I run.
He's a gelding, obviously, so you can keep on going. A lot of times, though, after the All-American Futurity, regardless of sex, gender, there's usually a stopping point, wait till a 3-year-old season. But he kept on going, and he kept on winning.
Well, I guess I got a reputation for just running. But I got Chuck Robinson, he's not doing real good, and he kept telling me just to run him because he didn't know how long he'd be around to watch him run. So he said, as long as he keeps coming back sound, he says, lead him back up there.
Must keep coming back sound because you kept doing that, and he kept winning. How did he come out of those last races of the year?
Good. As a matter of fact, he was telling me yesterday, is he running next month? I said, no, you're done till the summer. So he's a good horse. He's a very special horse for a very special man.
Right, champion 2-year-old gelding and All-American Futurity winner, and winner of many other races after that race, Imperial Eagle.
God bless those geldings. They come back for the Derby series. There's plenty of money for the quarter horse derbies nowadays, and we thank all of the track associations for providing as much money as they can along those lines. Dale, let's move on down to the Chariot division, and the title of World Chariot Champion goes to the winning team at the World Chariot Championships at the Golden Spike Event Center in Ogden, Utah. The 2016 AQHA World Chariot Championship team is Sierra Racing. Sierra Racing and the horses in the team are Tall Hero and Paint Me a Winner. Please join me in congratulating the World Chariot Championships here at Heritage Place, and they're making their way to the podium as well, or at least to the stage as well. And it's great to have the Oklahoma breds there, Dale. With the Oklahoma breds, we actually started chariot racing back in 1889 with the Land Rush. So we kind of have a leg up on these. A couple of Oklahoma breds, world champions.
I've seen the wagons. I haven't seen the chariots, so I'm going to take your word. If you were there, I'll take your word for it. Sierra Racing, Kyle Cook, tell us about, first of all, your team. There's a pretty good story behind these two. First of all, a lot of the chariot racers have not had success in prior disciplines, i.e. flat straight racing. These two were both pretty good in straight racing before they got with the chariot.
Yeah, they were. They were good, and the main thing is that I claimed Paint Me a Winner out of New Mexico, and it was his first year last year, and you kind of don't expect, when you hook two horses together, it takes a while for them to be able to run and to hook together. And so it was kind of a trial year for them. And I had another team that I was running, and one horse got sore. And so we dropped them out of the championship and the chariot racing. And so we said, let's just go. This will be a good training session for these two to run together. And we hooked them up. And right from the get-go, they just really started running really well together. I mean, I had an old trainer tell me one day that you don't have a chariot team until you have one horse. You got to have both horses run as one. And they just really surprised us and stepped up and ended up winning the whole thing. And so it was a surprise for us because we didn't expect it, and it was really awesome.
Times it's the second stringers that can get the job done. During the process of getting to the World Championship, when did you think, hey, we might have a shot with this after all, even though they weren't our first team when we started?
We didn't know. They were running really good, and they were really consistent, and they ran really good together from the start. And it's a grueling season. We run about 6-7 weeks in a 10-week period. That's like every week pretty much. And then when you get to Worlds, you got to run 5 days in 2 weeks. And it puts a lot of stress and strain on the horses. And but it's a good career for them horses after they get done running, because that's what they're bred for. And it kind of keeps them moving on in their life, so that gives them, they like to do it. That's why they're bred. They're bred to run.
Real quick, these two keep going on. It's coming up again this year.
Yes, they're again running this year. We're trying to go 2 in a row.
Are they first team, Yao?
That and my other team are.
Okay, all right. The coach playing all angles. I like it.
Hey, let's get a tight shot of this trophy. Charlton Heston will be very proud of this world champion Chariot team here. That's a beauty. All right, congratulations again. On now to our distance champion. Mind your step there. Let's go to the hook now, as it were, for the distance champion, and we will begin with B&G Fast Dash, who was our first on the ballot. Trained by Kenny Roberts. Corona's Boy, bred in New Mexico, owned by Victor Diaz. Fire on the Fly, bred in Texas, owned by Dr. Tommy Bullard, the breeder, and trained by the breeder and owner in Tommy Bullard. Game On, who won the $100,000 yard Sailfish Stakes at Hialeah. Kingsbury, winner of the Bobby Don Crenshaw at Ruidoso Downs. Rare Ed, who did win the Andrini Distance Challenge, you saw on Challenge Night at Los Alamitos. And finally, Swiss Chris, who's a multi-winner and multiply stakes place at the 870-yard hook distance. The 2016 AQHA Distance Champion is Corona's Boy.
4:40 to go, and on the lead is Corona's Boy, but Swiss Chris is right alongside, and they're stride for stride off the turn. On the far outside, DM Etiquette. Down along the inside, Tag You're It. They come to the final 220. On the lead is Corona's Boy. On the outside, Swiss Chris is trying to hold on to him. On the inside, Tag You're It, but Corona's Boy is beginning to pull away, and Corona's Boy now streaking away to win this one. Corona's Boy and Alejandro Medellin, they win the 870 championship by 2.
Making their way to the stage now, Corona's Boy by Mr. Houston out of the Corona Cartel mare Miss First Corona, bred in New Mexico by the owner Victor Diaz, trained by Martina Rona Jr. and Armadillo Alvarez. This horse won 3 times a pair of stakes races and earnings over $133,000. He also won the Herman Jefferson Stakes, as you saw there, and a stakes winner in 2013 and 2014. That's the favorite way to watch an 870-yard replay, isn't it, for a lot of the quarter horse diehards here on the straightaway there. Dale, who do you have?
Yeah, Neon Vieto is going to represent Victor Diaz here and talk about Corona's Boy, who, horse for the course, horse for the distance. This horse is definitely that. 870 yards has racked up nearly a $500,000, actually more than $500,000, all at 870 yards, $133,000 last year. Tell us about the consistency and excellence for Corona's Boy.
Well, Victor asked us to get a trophy for him. He's going to be here late today.
Okay. Well, you get to keep it then.
I know. He'll be here middle of the night tonight.
So you're the keeper of the trophy until then.
Right.
Can you tell us anything about Corona's Boy? He's already worked out. Is he getting set for another campaign this year?
What I see of him, he's a darn good horse.
Why don't you just take him since you're here?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, now, thank you very much. Corona's Boy, champion distance runner. Step over here for a photo.
Felicidades.
No.
Congratulations and thank you again as well. Racing American quarter horses from Mexico, of course, are making a big impact in the sport each and every year. This award is limited to those who were bred and raced primarily in Mexico. Entonces, la primera nominación is B.R. Jess Florentine, the first nominee, who is out of a Mr. Jess Perry mare. Charlie Cartel out of a Mr. Jess Corona mare. Dancer Fishers out of a Fisher's Dash mare who did win 4 times of 8 starts in 2016. And Ganada by Rabbits, earnings of $58,000. Farinoni out of a Snowbound mare with earnings of over $68,000. Invasora Jess out of a Mr. Jess Perry mare. La Esquin, who's bred in New Mexico, owned by Guillermo Elizondo. And Insure, who's had 5 trainers, Jose Baltazar, Juan Razo, Gregorio Alberto Razo, Juan Luis Rodriguez Cruz, and Raimundo Sandoval. Sounds like I mentioned about 7 or 8 names as opposed to just 5, but felicidades to all of you. And Soledad, who has earnings of over $100,000. And finally, Valentino Mystery, who had 8 starts, 5 wins, 2 stakes wins, and earnings of over $233,000. Who was the winner? Well, Valentino Mystery with that sort of a resume. So congratulations to the Mexican champion.
Arranca el utility su boca selecta Anselmo Aguilar. Está despuntando por el centro Charlie Cartel con el número 4. Por el riel, sí, Chico con el 2. Viene atacando el número 7, Valentino Mystery. Valentino Mystery saca la cabeza al frente. Valentino Mystery se lleva la gran carrera. Segundos, Joliat. Así llegan.
Bred in Mexico by Alejandro Arianas Badillo. He's owned by Alejandro, and the trainer is Jacobo Dominguez. Mi amigo Dale. And Sandy also.
We'll accept on their behalf.
Okay. Now let's head north to Alaska by way of Mexico. Actually, those aren't the lyrics. It's north to Canada is where we're heading right now. My apologies to Johnny Horton. Let's go to Canada for our nominees for the AQHA Canadian Champion. That's Country's Coming Back, owner and trainer Ralph Pearson. Cruisin' for a Bruisin', owned by Barry and Janice Sather. Feisty Icon, the 2016 reigning Ajax Downs Horse of the Year, 3 wins and 7 starts. Hickerson, bred in Ontario by Guylaine Paquin, home to Vegas, 5 wins of 6 starts this year. Ivory Lady League, owned by Kevin Overholzer. Panther Hero, bred in Ontario by Carol Lampron. Poutin' on the Wagon, 6 for 6 in Canada this season. Speedocracy, bred in Ontario by Katie Brown. Sugarman's Delight, bred in Ontario by Christine Tavares. And the 2016 AQHA Champion Racehorse, undefeated in 2016, Poutin' on the Wagon.
And they're off. Little meeting in the middle. Now they all separate back out. He's a rider on the inside now coming up. Poutin' on the Wagon out toward the center of the track. One Shane the Secret far outside. Honor the Fast Man. Rolling along up front now. Poutin' on the Wagon. Poutin' on the Wagon rolling along. Poutin' on the Wagon is in it.
There you go, Poutin' on the Wagon by PYC Paint Your Wagon out of the Okie Dokie Dale mare. And Poutin' Lord, bred in Alberta by Pete Shaler, owned by Pete Shaler, and the trainer is William Leach. So 6 for 6 for Poutin' on the Wagon. No connections here from Canada, so at this time we want to say thank you, Mrs. President Sandy Arledge, AQHA President. Well, we won't hear Mrs. President later on Friday night later this week, will we? Thank you for your participation as well. Mrs. President of the AQHA, Sandy Arledge. I'd like to welcome Stan Weaver to come up to the stage now, AQHA Executive Committee member. He will preside and present the awards as we continue on with our show. Next up is the Dam of Distinction Award. We do want to recognize this bestowed American Quarter Horse mare that has made extraordinary contributions to the breed. A total of 50 American Quarter Horse mares have received this award as of December 31st, 2016. Tonight we recognize Lot of Love for Robin, owned by Reliance Ranches LLC of Guthrie, Oklahoma. The 2009 mare was bred in Akron, Colorado by the late Kim Kessinger and Jim Geiler. She's by First Down Dash out of the Mr. Jess Mary, Love Ya, Miss Jess. Just 2 starters, both Grade 1 winners, moved on to the Dam of the Distinction list as Trace Friends and Lotta Bluesman were both top 10 money earners in 2015 and 2016, respectively. Congratulations to Lotta Love for Robin and Reliance Ranches, LLC. We have representatives from Reliance. If they could make their way onto the stage there. See Micah making his way right now. Congratulations, Micah McKinney. Okay, now let's move on out of the 2-year-old division into the 3-year-old division. We begin with contenders for champion 3-year-old colt. And we will begin with something that Micah knows about and a horse they know about in Big Lou, who did win the Los Alamitos Super Derby. EC Jet 1, the All-American Derby winner, 5 for 5 this season, or 2016 racing season. Ivan James, who did win the Evangeline Downs Derby. Jess Good Candy, we remember him from his 2-year-old campaign. At 3 last year, he won the Ruidoso Derby. Stevie's B First Cash, who won the First Down Dash Stakes at Ruidoso Downs. TMF I'm That Guy, winner of the Hobbs America Derby. And the AQHA champion 3-year-old colt is EC Jet 1.
All set for the South Florida Quarter Horse Derby. Over 200,000 there at the post. And they're off. And the favorite was bothered there on the outside as they bunched up with Favorite Fire and Genovese. Dead at the inside, Carter 66 has a jump on the field. Carter 66 a lead in mid-stretch. Blazing Spirit is moving up to challenge. Sprinster moves up in between horses. Carter 66 still there. Far outside, here's Jet 1 flying late.
There he is, EC Jet 1, the son of Louisiana Cartel, out of the Mr. Jess Mary in Pretty Girl Perry. We need to tell that Hialeah announcer to stop calling races into the fan with that. You got it. All right, Dale, there you go.
First of all, tell us about the year undefeated, first of all. Close calls in a couple of races, then easy wins after that, including the All-American Derby.
Well, it's just a matter of hard work. It's a matter of hard work. I just want to thank, of course, it will be a long list, but for me, a great mind, Jot, that always tells me, relax, baby, relax. And second of all, the jockey. I cannot believe he can manage something that is 100 times bigger than him. In amount of time of 21 or 22 seconds, he says, it's a matter of time. He says he can manage a horse. You just need to get there because 440 is a thing of mine. Then for me, someone that can do that is amazing. And of course, we just got a great horse that is a classic 440 horse. And we cannot be more thankful about that. And of course, it's been a matter of 40 years of knowledge of my dad, doing whatever he loves. He says, do whatever you really like in your life, working whatever you like, and you will never work again. And that's what we're doing, we're trying to do.
Amen. It's working very well on EC Jet 1 off to stallion duty this year now.
Did we get the photo we needed? Are we good? There you go. Everybody snug up together. Act like you like each other. Perfecto. Okay. Thank you and congratulations, otra vez. Next up, the 3-year-old filly division, and we begin with Celtic Emblem. Scrappy filly who was second in the All-American Derby. Daytona Doll, who in 6 starts had 3 wins with a stakes victory. Jess and Vision, bred in Oklahoma by Garvin Kelly, Lloyd Yoder, and Nancy Yearsley. Jess Good Reason won the La Primera del Año Derby and the Adequan Derby. Princess Jessie, bred in New Mexico, owned by Vince Mickelson. 5 wins from 8 starts this year. And Volcom Bay, second in the $1 million Ruidoso Derby. And our AQHA champion 3-year-old filly is Volcom Bay.
There, Ruddy. Volcom Bay could have gotten away a little faster. Just Shining outbroke him, but now he rockets up to the front and Volcom Bay takes over. Just Shining is drifting out to the center of the track, but along the inside is Big Lou, and then it is Whitman and Precisentacha and Volcom Bay repeating the Ruidoso trial win.
Volcom Bay by Volcom, out of Miss Lethal by Chicks Bedueno, bred in Oklahoma by P.K. Thomas. Penny and Terry Jeter with us with trainer Judd Curl.
All right, with Benny Jeter, Vulcan Bay, first of all, congratulations. Big year, big races, almost $500,000 in earnings in the top level of the sport.
Yes, we were real fortunate. Mr. Curl bought this horse for us 2 years ago at the Heritage Place, unknown to me. He just told me to send money in for her. And he had confidence in her all the time, and she's probably one of the best fillies or mares we've ever owned. And all of our thanks go to Jose Alvarez and Rodrigo Vallejo for riding her, and Mr. Curl and his team for training her. Couldn't be a better opportunity in the world.
When you get the call that just says send money, how do you usually feel about that?
Well, I asked him how much, and it kind of shocked me a little bit, but it was the best value I had ever had in horse racing. But no, I got complete confidence in Mr. Curl and his team, and when he asked me to spend money, I know it's well valued.
2017 plans?
Yeah, she's we're going to get a couple of embryos out of her early, and then she's going to compete this spring and summer.
Vulcan Bay champion 3-year-old filly. Congratulations, Johnny.
Judd, that could have worked out a lot differently, you know. We recognize and congratulations the connections of Vulcan Bay. Onward now to our next division, and that is the 3-year-old gelding division, where Boogie Special Dash has been nominated, owned by Kenneth Ruddard. On to Braveheart One, who had earnings of over $300,000. Fire at Will, owned by the Rosenthal Ranch, lightly raced this year. 2 starts, but 1 win, and that was a stakes win. First Valiant Sign, bred by the Mixer Ranch, earnings of over $340,000. Right Regal, owned by Urschel 3D Ranch, LLC, 7 wins from 11 outs this year. Valiant Rogue, bred in Oklahoma by the Ballenbach Ranch, or Bellenbach Farms, just north of here, earnings of over $500,000. Zooming for Spuds, bred in Idaho, a little further north of here, owned by Jim Walker. And from a little further north, our 2016 3-year-old gelding champion is Zooming for Spuds.
And away they go on the champion of champions, and an absolutely rocket start here for He's a Dash of Fire and Zooming for Spuds. Big Lou from down along the inside. Sasme Blues now coming up on the far outside, but He's a Dash of Fire came flying out of the gate. AJ's Highs now trying to close in, and Zooming for Spuds. Big Lou's making a run down along the inside. He's a Dash of Fire, Zooming for Spuds, and Zooming for Spuds pulls off the upset to beat He's a Dash of Fire.
By a pair of white blinkers, Zooming for Spuds wins by Zooming for Bucks out of a perfect cocktail by Corona Cocktail. Here he is, breeder owner Jim Walker with Dale Day.
All right, Jim, perfect year in the money, never worse than third, and you saved the best for last, rattling off 4 straight at the end of the year, and then the big one in the champion of champion.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing from my horse career, which is about 45 years of raising my own babies. I'm there every time. I feed them every day. And in most cases, I'm part of helping the mom have the baby. So it means a lot to me. And I've been around some very, very good hands, good people, and I owe them a lot. It's not a one-way street. Happy guy.
And you should be. I mean, you just won the biggest race for older horses. Now, that was the first 440 race for Zoomer for Spuds last year. Was there any concerns with a little bit of a stretch out after winning a lot at 400?
No, I really thought that was going to be in our favor. The horse just gets faster the further you go.
Proved it for sure in that one. A little bit of a surprise to some, but maybe not to you. You did all the work, so you deserve it. Congratulations.
Congratulations again. You can stand for the photo there. Dale will line you out there. The expression is patience of Joe, but in 45 years, Jim, it's the patience of Jim there. Congratulations. A long time coming for the win. All right, congratulations. Moving on to our Supreme Racehorse recognition. A runner that earns the title of AQHA Supreme Racehorse is special, to be sure. Prior to 2016, a total of 106 have earned the distinction, the first dating back to 1974. Tonight, we welcome 4 more onto the list. An AQHA Supreme Racehorse has earned $500,000 or more, 2 open Grade 1 stakes victories, and 10 wins overall. Supreme Racehorses receive a specially designed bronze, and the accomplishment appears on the horse's lifetime records. Each bronze is sent to the owner shortly after they achieve this honor. Therefore, one of the owners tonight will receive the bronze on stage. The others will receive plaques because they've already received their trophy or it's in the mail. We'll begin with the first of the 4 inductees, and congratulations to Dashin' Brown Streak. Dashin' Brown Streak is a 2010 gelded son of Hot Dog and out of the Streakin' La Jolla mare Anna's Streakin' Dash, bred by Flat Get It Farms of Villarica, Georgia, and is owned by the estates of C.W. Navarre and Melvin Hatley. Wayne Lukas, based in Oklahoma City, Dashin' Brown Streak has started 24 times in his 5-year career, 11 wins, 4 seconds, and 3/3, and earnings of nearly $550,000. His Grade 1 victories include the 2015 Leo Stakes and Remington Park Invitational here at Remington Park. 2016, he was second in the Leo Stakes, and he earned the AQHA Supreme Racehorse title dating back to October, and the connections with us of Dashin' Brown Streak. Thank you, Mrs. Hatley. Well, thank you. Next, we honor JRC Callas First. Remember that name as well. A former world champion, JRC Callas First earned the achievement of being an AQHA Supreme Racehorse going back to June of 2016. He's owned by Dana and Brian Stroud of Sunderland Springs, Texas, and is trained by Brian Stroud. The 7-year-old gelding was bred by J.R. Cass of Gause, Texas. And he is by Winner's Award out of the Dirty Coup mare in Calla Missy Jane. JRC's Callas First has won 17 of 31 lifetime starts to date, including 11 stakes races. He's earned $620,000. Victories include the Refrigerator Handicap, Zia Park Championship, and Zia Park Championship and Handicap, I should say. He was a sports world champion, if you recall, going back 2 years ago in 2014, and he was also voted the champion age gelding and champion aged horse, and that is our Supreme Racehorse in JRC's Callas First. Stroud's here. We'll send you that trophy. Moving on to our third honoree, we welcome to the stage Ted Abrams of Houston, owner and breeder of our next AQHA Supreme Racehorse in Jesse's First Down. In 2011 bay gelding by FDD Dynasty out of the Jessa Classy Lassie. Jesse's First Down earned his Supreme status in a late fall rush, to be sure. He won the Grade 1 Refrigerator Handicap, the Zia Park Championship, and the championship at Sunderland in the span of just 3 months. With the final victory, that's what pushed him to his 10th victory in 27 career starts, earnings of over $580,000. Congratulations, Ted Abrams and Jesse's First Down. Thank you all, team. You did. Our final, Nancy, our final AQHA Supreme racehorse of 2016 is Zoomin' Effortlessly, owned by Telesforo Perret of Houston. Zoomin' Effortlessly was bred in Edna, Texas by Tommy Charbola. 2011 bay gelding by Zoomin' for Bucks out of Arroyo Quick Affair. Gelding has won 15 of 25 starts and earned nearly $670,000. You might recall his Grade 1 victories include the Refrigerator Handicap, the championship at Sunderland Park, and the All-American Gold Cup. Congratulations to Telesforo Perret and Zoomin' Effortlessly. And that does it for our recognition of the Supreme Racehorses. Again, we personally, I thank all of the racetracks who are putting up that big money for those horses. There is money to be had for horses beyond their futurity campaign in quarter horse racing, as we just demonstrated right there. We'll move on now to our age stallion, and we thank Executive Committee member and Stan Weaver helping out. We move to the age division of 4-year-olds and upward, and we welcome back to the stage AQHA's second vice president, Dr. Jim Hurd. He'll help us out with the presentation for Champion Aged Stallion. First on the list is Fly Through the Fire, owned by King Camden Running Horses Incorporated. On to Moon and the Eagle. 3 starts, 3 wins, and earnings of $325,000 plus. Open Me a Corona, bred in Louisiana by Natalie Montgomery, DVM. Scoopy's Leaving You, bred in Louisiana by Gerald Libersat and trained by Kevin Broussard. And TF Cajun Cartel, also bred in Louisiana by Steve Tate, owned by the Cajun Partnership. And the 2016 Champion Age Stallion is Moonin' the Eagle. Connections, move forward to the stage, please.
And they're off. The favorite, Moon of the Eagle, broke quickly up on the outside. Daytona B also kicks it into gear. Habit Secret is out of the center of the track as they drive for the finish here. Habit Secret a short lead. Moon of the Eagle moves up on the outside with Fly Through the Fire. Moon and the Eagle and Fly Through the Fire racing together. It's Moon and the Eagle, 3 in a row. Moon and the Eagle.
Moon and the Eagle by One Famous Eagle out of Your First Moon by First Down Dash, bred in California, of course, by Vessels Stallion Farm LLC. We missed that racing from Hialeah. Hopefully we'll get it back very soon. Again, the AQHA champion H Stallion is Moon and the Eagle. We'll move on now to the champion aged mare division. And first off is Azteca, bred in New Mexico by MJ Farms, owned by MJ Farms. Oak Hill Streak, owner Vanessa Bartu. 8 starts, 4 wins, including 3 stakes. Quirky, bred in California, owned by Dr. Edward C. Allred and trained by Jimmy Glenn. Sass Me Blue, bred in Utah by Lance Robinson and Max Anderson, trained by Mike Castleman. Sudden Separation, who started 8 times, had 1 stakes win and earnings just shy of $100,000. And finally, Time for Wine, bred in California by Vessels Stallion Farm and owned by Pete Scarmato. 2016 AQHA champion age mare is Sass Me Blue.
And away they go on the Mildred Vessels Memorial Handicap, and a good start for Quirky to the extreme outside of Apolitical Zoom, who also came away well here. Sass Me Blue and Nymph Just Cause did not come away that well, and Just Good Reasons putting in a nice run from down along the inside. But Sass Me Blue, the one who catches the eye, and Just Good Reason going nose and nose, and Apolitical Zoom's right there. I think Sass Me Blue won it by a whisker.
Blanket call there. Ed Burgard hitting it just right. It's Sass Me Blue by Valiant Hero out of Just Sass Me by Mr. Jess Perry, bred in Utah by Lance Robinson and Max Anderson, and owned by the Lucky 7 Ranch. You can see Mike Castleman working out the details with Dale Day. Let me guess, Mike didn't want to talk, so we'll go to Russell.
They're all trying to hand off the serve to somebody else. Step on up closer here, Russell. Congratulations on this award. Winning the Millie Vessels. Didn't work out so well for you in the Champion Champions, but the Millie Vessels was a nice victory. Did you think that would be enough to get this honor for you?
Well, it was a tough year. There was a lot of good older mares, so it's quite an honor. And she's a special racehorse. She did a good job. Won a Grade 1, run second in a Grade 1, made the champion, so she did a good job for us this year.
All right. We have plans for 2017 with her.
We're going to get an embryo, and then we're going to decide, but 50-50, whether we'll bring her back or retire.
So you'll let her tell the story. Congratulations. Lucky 7 Ranch winning with Sass Me Blue, Chris.
A nice decision, Mike Castleman. Well done, Russell. Sass Me Blue as the connections creep up a little bit over this way for the win photo. Congratulations again. Now the nominees for the age gelding division. And we will begin with AJ's High, who won 3 graded stakes races this year at Remington Park before he went on to win the Bank of America Challenge as well. BH Lisa's Boy, bred in Idaho by Bill Hoberg, owned by Bill Hoberg and trained by Bill Hoberg. He Looks Hot, bred in California by Doc Allred, owned by the breeder Scott Willoughby, the trainer. He's a Dash of Fire, owned by S. Quarter K and the reigning world champion, if you recall. Jesse's First Down, bred by Ted Abrams and owned by Ted Abrams. Classic Strawfly, bred in New Mexico by Ron Stevens, the 10-year-old Classic Strawfly, still getting it. He won 6 of 8 3-stakes races in 2016. Munis, the reigning champ of this division, and fortunately, of course, a late great friend to quarter horse racing, all of racing for that matter. And Rare Ed, bred in Illinois by Ronald H. Martin. And we will announce the aged gelding winner, that being Jesse's First Down.
They're off. Jesse's First Down away alertly right on the inside. KW Cowboy came out quickly. Barstruck splits those two. Then comes Red Chrono Warrior in the green. Dash and Brown Streak farther to the outside. Jesse's First Down has the lead past mid-stretch. Jesse's First Down impressively in front here in the refrigerator. The battle for second. KW Cowboy second behind Jesse's First Down.
Champion age gelding, again, Jesse's First Down. bred and owned by Ted Abrams. Judd Curl, the trainer. 11 starts this year with 8 wins, 5 of them stakes races, and over $430,000 in earnings.
Ted Abrams with me, Jesse's first down. Tremendous year, 11 for 11 in the money. 7 of the last 9 were victories, including a winning streak at the end. Your thoughts on the award?
Well, we've had such a good time this year running this horse. Judd and Jimmy and Rodrigo have done such a good job with him. It's the year's a phenomenal year. I don't know how you could ever repeat it, but we've had a great time with him this year.
The path was Texas and New Mexico primarily. No thoughts to head out west to California, but it worked out well, the races you went for.
Correct. We actually started in Hialeah, then came to Texas, and then to New Mexico. And as the year went on, the horse just kept getting better and better. And he finished the year, I think, with a phenomenal run.
With the overall run, could you kind of believe what was happening? Because it seemed like just every time out, it was victory again.
You know, it's hard to anticipate that you're going to win against the quality of horses that he was running against. Well, we never doubted his ability, but so many other things play into to winning a race against those quality of horses. We were fortunate and blessed to do it.
All right, Ted, congratulations, Ted Abrams, owner, champion, Jesse's first down.
Ted mentioned a couple of times that he had a good time. You know these folks, when aren't they having a good time, particularly when they're at the racetrack, for sure. Congratulations again, Jesse's first down. We're going to move on now to the human winners, if you will, as we move on into the champion breeder category with our equine champions. We'll resume back to them as well. Breeder, owner, trainer, and jockey awards are up next. They are determined by a written ballot of the Champion Selection Committee. The ballot consists of the top-ranked individuals with the best overall placing in accordance to money earned, races won, and graded stakes performance. 2016 AQHA Champion Breeder nominees are, alphabetical again, Mike Abraham, lovingly known by his friends as Buffalo Head. Edward Allred, that's Doc Allred, one of Mike's loving friends, a 13-time AQHA champion breeder. Steve Burns, 13 wins this year of the horses he bred, earnings of over $2 million. Enrique Carrion, who had a 19% win rate with the horses he bred, $1.3 million. Bobby Cox with 10 stakes winners and earnings of over $3 million. Fred Draper, a 33% win rate with the runners, 13 of 39 starters. E.G. High Desert Farms, 53 winners in 2016. Grant Farms of Pineville, Louisiana, 35 wins. Lucky 7 Ranch, earnings of just shy of $1 million. MJ Farms, Mac and Janice put up big numbers once again, earnings of nearly $1.2 million. Vessel Stallion Farm, 47 wins, 9 stakes wins, and earnings of $1.6 million. Watona Stanley, 38 winners, 21 seconds, and 22 thirds, earnings of $660,000. And Watona Stanley and W.E. Smith combined for over $1.7 million. Nominees, we appreciate you with all your efforts as breeders, those that made the list and those that did not. Our AQHA breeder of 2016 is Bobby Cox, champion breeder.
They're off in the Heritage Place Futurity. Good start. Corona's first Diva, but quickly surrounded. Outside BW, Kiss My Heineken, and DuPonte. Now battling for the front. Inside Widow's Devil player also. Here comes Sweet Annie GL. It's DuPonte surging forward. DuPonte outside, and DuPonte will take the Heritage Place Futurity by 3/4 of a length.
By a long way does DuPonte take the Heritage Place Futurity. 939 starters of the horses Bobby bred with 152 winners, and as I mentioned, 10 stakes winners as well. He had stakes place horses of nearly 40 stakes place horses in his starters of 2016. Bobby D. Cox, 2016 champion breeder with Dale Day.
All right, Bobby, congratulations. Over $3.1 million in earnings last year, and you went over the $20 million mark overall in career breeder earnings. Special company. Only 3 people have done that. Talk about what this award means to you.
Well, it's something I've been trying to get for a long time, so it means a lot. Yeah. I didn't think I was going to win it because Dr. Allred always wins it, and I thought he beat me again this year by maybe 400,000 or something. But it's a very great award. I love breeding, the breeding part of the industry, and so thank you, everybody that voted for me. And thank you, AQHA.
Now, how surprised are you at this? I mean, you've been at this a long time. Step up. You got to face this way. You and I could talk all night, but they're the ones that want to hear you. How surprised at this at all?
I'm very surprised. Well, I was ahead in earnings about 11 months.
Not that anybody's counting.
And then, yeah, but he was counting. But then Dr. Allred horse won the Los Altos million. So that put me behind in earnings. And so I thought he had it sewed up. And so I don't know how I won it, because I thought I had to have more earnings than he did. And so I thought that's why you voted on it. But anyway, I'm grateful for it. It's a great award. And I hope to win it again. I try to improve my mare band every year by buying great mares when they come on the market, and taking some of the ones that we run that go back into the broodmare band. And we breed about 100 mares a year. And that's part of it that I like the best. Of course, I like winning a race. That's a lot of fun too, but I hadn't won many races in the last 5 years. I've been going through a dry spell.
Well, as a breeder, you won over 150 last year. Bobby Cox, congratulations, champion breeder.
Thank you, Bobby. Stand for your photo here. Bill Melson, rest of the crew there. By the way, Bobby will be speaking at a microphone, a fixed microphone, at the AQHA Hall of Fame Awards in San Antonio, part of convention, as Bobby being inducted in the AQHA Hall of Fame coming up in March. Did I spoil the surprise? Champion breeder in Bobby D. Cox. We'll move on to our next division, and that is of champion owner. Nominees for AQHA champion owner: A&C Racing and Roping, the leading owners at Wyoming Downs this past 2016 racing season. Dr. Edward C. Allred, Doc Allred, with 58 winners. Steve Burns, Dr. Steve Burns, DVM, with 24 winners. Enrique Carrion, 12 wins of 36 starters and earnings of over $1.2 million. Enrique Gonzalez's EG High Desert Farms, 31 wins and 6 stakes wins. J&M Racing Farm, 117 starters with 23 wins and $687,000 plus. JK Running Horses from Neosho Falls, Kansas. The Laymans are down here from Kansas. Congratulations to you for being nominated. Fauna Knight, who has won 9 of 24 and earnings of $1.2 million. Lucky 7 Ranch, earnings of just shy of $1 million. You saw them up here a short while ago. Sarah Leanne Morgan, earnings of well over $600,000, 8 wins from 12 starters. Paragon Farms from Conroe, Texas, 7 wins of 29 starters. PV Quarterhorse Farms, LLC of Ratliff City, Oklahoma, of course, 15 winners, 5 of them stakes winners. Reliance Ranches of Guthrie, 17 wins and earnings of over $900,000. Chuck Robinson of Southern Pines, North Carolina, 7 wins and 16 starters. That's a hell of a win rate, Chuck. Pete Scarmato of Caldwell, Texas, 26 wins and 2 stakes wins. Tom Shekel of Bellevue, Iowa, just south of Omaha, 24 wins, 4 stakes wins, and earnings of close to $500,000. Terry and Irene Stennett of Odessa, Texas, 26 winners this year. And Charles Stojan of Grand Prairie, Alberta, 21 wins and 42 starts. The AQHA Racing's 2016 champion owner, Lucky 7 Ranch. Once more, Lucky 7, the Stooks to the stage, please.
And away they go on the Golden State Million Futurity, and a beautiful start for Cartel 6s down along the inside, and Lotto Bluesman and Worth Doing. King Candy to the extreme outside. Tarzanito is now being asked to pick it up, but it's Lotto Bluesman down the middle part of the track. Down along the inside is Cartel 6s, Worth Doing, and Tarzanito. Lotto Bluesman, Cody Jensen with a broken collarbone and all takes it over Tarzanito, Worth Doing, and back and forth is Cartel 6s, but it's Lotto Bluesman and the incomparable Cody Jensen to win.
Broken collarbone, that's like a skin knee at Burgar for Cody Jensen. Lucky 7 Ranch again in Prescott Valley, Arizona. 9 winners of 32 starters in 2016 and some important stakes wins as well. Lisa and Russell Stooks with Dale Day.
All right, Lisa said she wants to do all the talking, Russell, so we'll get to her in just a second. We'll let you. Where does this rank in other awards and stakes accomplishments you've had over the years?
It is certainly a surprise, and it's certainly an honor. And to win something like this, you have to have a good team. And Mike Castleman, our trainer, is first class. And this year we got Cody Jensen to ride for us, and you don't get better than that. And that's what made it happen. And it's pretty special too. I think we only had 5 horses at the track this year, and to have 2 different ones win Grade 1 races, it's a special year.
Sometimes it's not the quantity, it's the quality. Lisa, come on. You've got to say something here.
Well, I have the girls, and Russ has the boys. So we have a girl and boy win this year. So it made it special. So, but he gets all the money. So there's something wrong with
it. Creative accounting going on the other way somehow there. Okay, you're fine. That's fine.
Fake news.
I got a lot more out of you than I thought I would get. Congratulations. Lisa Russell Stukes, Lucky 7 Ranch. Congratulations.
Russell gets all the money is fake news. I said we wouldn't have it here tonight, but we just have. All right. Congratulations to our AQHA champion owner, Lisa and Russell Stukes. On to the champion trainer category. Each year, AQHA recognizes one of the best with an award named after one of the best, that being AQHA leading trainer, the Blaine Fonaville Champion Trainer Award. Here are the nominees. Stacy Chariot Hill of Lexington, Oklahoma, $715,000 in earnings. Clint Crawford with 7 stakes wins in 2016, earnings of nearly $1.5 million. Trey Ellis of Grand Bay, Alabama, earnings of over $700,000. Jose Flores with earnings of just over $1.4 million. Nearly $1.5 million earnings for Jaime Gomez, whose horses racked up quite a bit of money. 30 winners for Jaime Gomez. On to Adrian Wheatron, who had 11 stakes winners in 2016 and earnings of over $1.4 million. Mike Joyner of Santa Teresa, New Mexico, his horses earned over $1.6 million. Paul Jones, 116 wins of 2016 and earnings of $2.1 million plus. Judd Curl's horses went into the winner's circle 129 times in 2016 with earnings of over $4.6 million. Orlando Orozco, 50 wins and earnings of nearly $600,000. Kenny Roberts, 7 stakes winners for the Mandow South Louisiana Way, earnings of nearly $1.5 million. Carlos Saldivar, 50 winners for Carlos. Tony Cedillo had 59 winners, 4 stakes winners. You know about at least one of those. Mike Taylor, 54 wins for him in 2016 and earnings of $1.3 million. Eddie Willis with the 50-win year of 2016, and Trey Wood, 43 winners and earnings of just shy of $1.5 million. Again, this is for the AQHA 2016 champion trainer. Judd Curl wins the award in 2016.
They're running in the Rainbow Derby. Good break, and Valiant Rogue rocketed out of the gate. It's Valiant Rogue in front. Duck to the inside. We have Stevie B first cash, then first Valiant Sign down at the rail. Coming on is Boogie Special Dash. Valiant Rogue, Boogie Special Dash is coming out. Valiant Rogue leading the way to the wire, and Valiant Rogue won it at the start. Valiant Rogue wins the Rainbow Derby.
And congratulations to Judd Hurd again. A terrific year of 2016. 22 stakes wins as well with the 129 starts.
Judd
129
Curl,
wins, I beg your pardon.
There you go. Judd Curl's been up here a lot with horses representing that he's worked with throughout the year. We should probably had you a chair just so you could stay up to avoid some of the walking. Your thoughts on this accomplishment? First of all, Judd is the first person in nearly a generation, 14 years, to win this award, not named Paul Jones. So we'll start with that.
Yeah, it's just been a hell of a year.
It has been a hell of a year, Judd.
It's okay. Take your time. We have plenty of time. We're not held to TV time frames. We're on the internet. We can go all night.
Yeah, I can't thank everybody enough, from boys at the barn to my grooms to assistants to owners to everybody involved. It's just been a team effort, and unbelievable.
Well, the amount of wins you won at about 27% rate, which is very, very good. Obviously, 22 stakes victories. At any point during the year, did this idea of possibly this award creep into your mind?
You know, as a kid, you always dream of something like this. You dream of winning the All-American. For it to become reality is just unbelievable.
Judd.
You did it, Judd.
Great. See, that wasn't that bad.
Stand for the photo. Judd is famous for not smiling in the win photos. So, Judd, smile! You're the champion trainer, Judd! You can thank Martha Clausen and everybody that's seen your win photos for doing that. Good job. Well done. All right, that was champion trainer Judd Curl, and we move on to the jockey division 2016. Time to recognize our nominees, and we begin with David Alvarez. 8 stakes wins for jockey David Alvarez and nearly $2 million in earnings. Francisco Calderon with 6 stakes wins. Ivan Carnero, the leading Remington Park jockey, 2016, earnings of over $2 million. Cesar de Alba hails Cesar, 101 wins and 9 stakes wins. John Hamilton, the ageless wonder out there, 84 wins for John Hamilton and 4 stakes wins. Cody Jensen, skin, knee, and all, and broker collarbone, as he had 2.6 in earnings for his mounts. Alfonso Lujan, 90 wins, $1.1 million. Damian Martinez with 103 wins for 2016. Escar Ramirez, 5 stakes wins and earnings of $4.4 million. Ricky Ramirez, who rode the Texas Classic Futurity winner, $2.6 million for Ricky Ramirez. Adrian Ramos, 70 wins of 2016, 2.2 in earnings. Jesus Rios, 101 wins last year. Augustine Silva put up some nice numbers, 8 stakes wins and earnings of over $2 million for his mounts. Rodrigo Vallejo, 12 stakes wins for Rodrigo. And Luis Vivanco with 90 wins overall. And the AQHA Racing's 2016 champion jockey is Escar Ramirez. Escar Ramirez.
Racing in the Southwest Juvenile Championship, Imperial Eagle got away well today. Magnifico Dragon got a beautiful break towards the outside. Chain Man got away well. Down towards the inside, Apolitical Scout's running a huge one as well. But they come to the final 220. On the outside, Magnifico Dragon, Apolitical Scout down towards the inside between horses, Imperial Eagle. Magnifico Dragon, Imperial Eagle with a late surge along the inside. And Imperial Eagle and Escar Ramirez to win the Southwest Juvenile Championship.
Yes, he did. That's a great race and a terrific effort there. Escar Ramirez of Anthony, New Mexico. It was roughly $1.7 million more than Cody Jensen and Ricky Ramirez. Both of those jockeys earned around about $2.6 million in 2016, and it was a big Labor Day weekend for Escar as well.
Escar, you had a tremendous year. $4.5 million, $4.6 million, 4.4 I think was the number for amount earnings. Congratulations on that. Your thoughts on this award? Were you surprised at much?
You know, it's a dream come true. Like y'all tell, it's kind of hard to believe. You know, like every person, it's a dream come true. Like win the All-American. I can believe standing right here. You know, thank God. You know, give me an opportunity, and all the owners believe in me. Agent, all these guys, for racing. You know, I'm gonna keep on working hard. So try too hard, winning every time. I believe I'm standing right here. Like y'all say, it's kind of hard to believe standing in yourself here.
You mentioned the hard work. You've been at this for a little while, so you've been trying to get the big races. You've won a lot of races. You won a lot of nice stakes races as well, but this year, everything seemed to fall into place.
I can believe, you know, I win the, kind of hard to believe you win these kind of races and you standing out right here. But thank God, you know, and all these person, my family, they always support me, my mom, dad, wife, my agent, all these owners. Like I said, I don't know how to spread myself. I can believe I'm standing right here.
Congratulations, you are the champion jockey, Escar Ramirez.
And with mom, dad, and wife as well. Thank you for bringing them along. And of course, Dr. Hurd, AQHA second vice president, been along for the presentations. We thank you for your participation. And again, congratulations, Dr. Hurd, for being inducted into the Texas Cowboy Hall of Fame as well. We'll bring up another cowboy as AQHA Executive Committee member Butch Wise will come forward now to continue on with the presentation. Each year, AQHA offers the Champion Selection Committee the opportunity to recognize some members who they feel deserve special accolades. This year, the committee honors 2 individuals with a Breeder Special Recognition Award. Our first Breeder Special Recognition Award goes to Freda Draper of Ruidoso. Freda bred and owns Genuine Joy, the dam of champion Imperial Eagle, and Grade 2 finalist Political Mess. Freda Draper, congratulations. Freda, you're here. You don't have to talk. Yeah, come on, my mountain mama. Congratulations. You have your prepared speech? Good, because there are no remarks needed, just that big mountain mama smile. Unless Dale wants to interview. Oh, the improv.
He's Dale Day. Nice to meet you. Congratulations. All right. Don't listen to him about speeches. You can make this up on the fly. No.
Yeah, you do.
You have to talk. You have to express yourself. How about that instead of talking? Go.
There's no expression to be made except I'm just so pleased to accept this honor. You know, it takes a village to raise kids. It takes a village in the racing world. And I want to share this award with everybody here that works so hard. The backside people, the racetrack owners, the jockeys, the owners, the trainers, the breeders. It's just an honor. And that's all I can say.
You said it beautifully. Congratulations, Freda Draper. Take a picture.
A lot of people very proud of you, Freda. Congratulations again to Freda Draper. We'll go on now to the second Breeder Special Recognition Award, as we're happy that we're able to oblige the AQHA Special Committee for their recognition of the special accolades, and that goes to Watona Stanley of Medill, Oklahoma. Last year, Watona bred 6 stakes winners, led by the restricted Grade 3 winner in First Prize Denim, and in partnership with W.E. Smith was the breeder of Grade 1 winner, Apolitical Chad. Now, we don't have Watona with us, but here comes Fred. All right, Dale. You're going to get an interview and probably a hug from Fred, right? Go hug Butch Wise.
Come on over here. Congratulations, Fred. On behalf of your mother, tell us what this award means for her and the family and the entire operation.
Well, our operation's been family for over 50 years. My aunt and Uncle Marvin and Leela Barnes. Uncle Marvin's going to be inducted in Hall of Fame here in the convention in a couple of months. Mom and Dad started this program in the early 60s. I was making $1 an hour cleaning stalls and running water, and I thought I was getting rich. And it's been a lot of bologna sandwiches in the early days. But this is all that we've dedicated our lives to, Mom and Dad and the whole family, my brothers. And it's Mother's at home at the ranch. She'll be 90 next month. But she's got 51 yearlings and going to have about 50 babies born this year. And so she's going just as strong as she can go, and as long as the good Lord will stay with us, we're going to hang in there. So
she's got a lot of work to do. She can't stop now.
We appreciate everybody, all your help. Butch Wise, you've been an awesome help over the last 25 years, and we appreciate everybody, and a lot of friends in this industry. And Bobby, congratulations to you. We love you. So thank you very much on behalf of my mother.
Watona Stanley, Special Breeder Recognition. Thank you very much, Fred.
Congratulations, Fred at Watona. Thank you, Fred. Give Mother a hug from all of us, Fred. There you go. Our next recognition is one of 3 this evening that are not determined by earnings, wins, or points, but rather by simple hard work on behalf of the American quarter horse racing industry. The Mildred N. Vessel Special Achievement Award recognizes an outstanding woman for her contributions to the American quarter horse industry in the previous year. 2016, of course, is what we're speaking of. Millie Vessels, a longtime horsewoman whose father-in-law established Los Alamitos Racecourse in the Southern California ranch. She managed that track in its early days and later concentrated on her Vessels Stallion Farm in Bonsall, California. This year, the AQHA Racing Committee has selected Loretta Brasher of Thatcher, Arizona, as the Millie Vessels Award winner. Loretta Brasher, you just heard your name announced. There's Loretta. Some of these awards, most of these awards, are surprise awards. And as Butch said, she was surprised, so mission accomplished there. And something... We might need those oxygen masks I talked about at the start of the show. Everybody remember where they are? Come on, Loretta, you're almost there.
Okay.
Give it up for Loretta Brasher, who has made it to the stage.
Loretta, I'll let you speak first, then a couple of people that came up with you are going to speak as well, Lloyd and Bill. First of all, congratulations on this honor, and you were almost overcome. You almost didn't get out of the chair, but you came up the stairs a lot better. Tell us about what this means for you.
Well, anything like that to put a spring in your step, I guess. But wow, I'm overwhelmed. I'm blessed. I know all about this award because I know these great ladies out there that I've seen their names forever, and I love them, and I work with them in the industry. But never did I think I'd see my name there. So I feel very honored and very blessed. And girls that was up here a while ago said something that rings true to me. My husband got me in this business. I was had nothing to do with animals till I married a cowboy named Wayne Brazier. And he gave me the spark to love these horses and to work in the industry. I worked in the barn with him and forever until my back got bad, and then I decided I'd take a typewriter instead. So if you guys think I've done a good job, I mean, that's the best honor you can get. It's an award from somebody you work with. So I'm very, very humbled and honored about this. And I've got my little granddaughter out there. I'm so surprised she didn't come up with me. But thank you, everybody. And like the girl said, my husband always told me, and he told all of his kids, if you work in a job that you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That's how I feel about this industry. I go to work every day. I'm blessed. I'm glad I have the job. Lost my husband 2 years ago, and this is my life. So thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
very, very
Loretta.
much. Thank you.
Loretta raises money and run programs such as the AQHA Scholarship Fund, Stallion Service Auction, the State Bred Program in Arizona, and much more. Loretta keeps horsemen informed on important issues and represents them in industry meetings, promotes racing in press and social media, and in many ways is the face of Arizona racing. Thank you, Loretta Brasher.
Lloyd Yoder and Bill Harris assisting Loretta, strong backers of all the work, Chris, she's done throughout the years in Arizona.
Thank you all. 2016 Mildred N. Vessel Special Achievement Award recipient, Loretta Brasher. Each year, AQHA also presents the Gordon Crone Special Achievement Award to a man who worked tirelessly in the past year to advance the sport of quarter horse racing. Gordon Crone himself was a longtime racing horseman from Kansas who worked to promote the racing industry in his home state and across the country. The award was first presented in his name going back to 1994. The association accepts nominations for this award each year at the end of the calendar year for both the Mildred N. Vessels and the Gordon Crone, so know that if you'd like to nominate someone for these special awards. The recipient of the 2016 Gordon Crone Special Achievement Award is Dr. Steve Burns, DVM of Menifee, California. Dr. Burns is an influential member of the racing community in many ways. The owner of Burns Ranch, he stands some of the country's premier stallions. He is also part owner of the Los Alamitos Equine Sale and participates in all major quarter horse sales throughout the country. Also top owner and breeder, Steve has raced the likes of Grade 1 winner Homebred Little Talks, bred horses that have earned more than $12.6 million. They include 12 stakes winners just last year. He was named the Neutrina Racing Challenge leading breeder. Dr. Burns is an AQHA director, racing committee member, member of the Racing Medication Task Force, and serves on the board of the Pacific Coast Quarter Horse Racing Association. Please join us in congratulating Dr. Steve Burns, the Gordon Crone Special Achievement Award winner of 2016.
All right, Dr. Steve Burns, I walked past you earlier and said hi, and I wanted to say, hey, you're a winner tonight, but I had to keep my mouth shut. So now that you know, how do you feel about it?
Well, I'm a little surprised. That was I saw the competition. I was sure I'd be an also ran, but thank you very much for the honor.
Tell us a little bit about your long career in the business, still going strong, and now picking up this recognition.
Yeah, we have Burns Ranch in California. Work hard at that. I'd like to thank my wife, Jo, my partner and best worker. Then our son is a veterinarian, works with us. Our daughter works in the office. Mike Castleman, Joe's brother, is our trainer. He doesn't work as hard for us as he does Lucky 7, but he does a good job. So it's kind of a family affair, and it's been mentioned a few times, you know, if you're kind of working at your passion, it really doesn't feel like a job. So,
congratulations on the Gordon Crone Award, Dr. Steve Burns.
Congratulations, Steve and Joe. We'll have a milk later on together, right? Like we used to do at Los Al. On to our Racing Council Award, and before we announce this year's divisional AQHA champion racehorses, we need to pause for the individual achievement awards. This year we have two. The AQHA Racing Special Recognition Award honors a lifetime of service and dedication to the development, promotion, and enhancement of the American quarter horse racing. Nominations are submitted by members of the AQHA Racing Committee and Racing Council, and the winner is determined by a vote of that council. The first recipient of the 2016 AQHA Racing Council Special Recognition Award is Dennis Eakins. Denny Eakins retired at the close of 2016 with a genuine legacy to be proud of, retiring among the top 25 all-time leading trainers by money earned and the 8th in the all-time conditioner at Los Alamitos. Denny's a horseman and a gentleman. His horses have won 1,274 races and earned more than $13.8 million. Among the great horses he's trained are the Champions, Toltac, Ocean Runaway, Flying Fig, and Sterling Sport. Denny and his wife, Andy, recently moved to Montana to be closer to their family. That's why they are not here right now. But Denny, I know you're watching on the AQHA live feed, and I will always remember that touching moment when you stepped on the set with us at Los Alamitos during the TVG of the Quarters, and we had our discussion live about Ocean Runaway, one of my favorite horses. That was a genuine moving moment, and you really brought to it what all these horses do for us on the racetrack as well. So congratulations to Denny Eakins. Butch Wise has got your trophy. Denny is the first of our special recognition honorees. We will move on to our second Racing Council Special Recognition Award winner, and that goes to Russell Harris, who is with us tonight. His career as a trainer dates back to 1972, and this year wraps up a stellar career. During his tenure, he conditioned earners of more than $17 million, including nearly 1,500 wins. 34 were stakes wins. His protégés include Champions, Florentine, and Calix, among others. Russell enjoyed success in several jurisdictions, having saddled horses in California, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, and other states. In 2015, he was inducted into the Ruidoso Racehorse Hall of Fame. In addition to his success as a trainer, Russell has an active role in the AQHA by serving on the racing committee, being a member of the Racing Council as well, and serving as an AQHA director. And like his good buddy Denny Eakins, Russell and his wife Brooke are looking forward to spending some time together with their grandchildren during retirement. Extend our best wishes to Russell Harris.
Chris touched on it. Russell, you were a winner wherever you decided to race. And for many years, I had the privilege to see your horses run and actually call some of them at Remington Park. What I remember as much about Russell and really very fond of, whenever you needed a quote or you put a camera in someone's face to get somebody to say something about what was coming up at Remington Park, Russell Harris was the go-to guy. Thank you very much for that.
Well, you're welcome. It's quite an honor, but it's damn sure a surprise. I come up to enjoy this thing and relax, and here you put me right in the middle of something again. So thank you very much. I sure appreciate it.
Oh, come on, you got to say a little bit more than that. I'll ask you one more thing. With all the success, and you had a lot of great ones, is there any one or two that stand out as the most special, or the ones you remember the most?
Well, I've been fortunate, just like Wayne, with a lot of races won and all. Not to that degree, by no means, but been fortunate with the world's champions and the runners and all. But some of my favorite horses were the ones that really didn't get the recognition or didn't quite win the money and all, but they were the most fun and all. And probably the one of them which did get a recognition, the first world champion I had, was Jody's Glory. And he's not remembered that much as some like Florentine and Prissy Finn and Deposit Cash and them, but he was one tough little dude. And he was, I know we were running at Los Alamitos, and at the time we had a lot of horses running. And was very fortunate, had some good owners, and we were running 4 or 5 a night and winning quite a few races. And if we went like 2 weeks and we hadn't won a race, I'd get ill as a bear. And my wife, boy, she'd say, well, you better enter Jody. And he'd always pull us out of the hole, and he was a special horse.
Russell, you're a special man. Good luck in retirement. You've had a great career, and we really appreciate everything you've done for the sport.
Thank you very much.
Russell? And Russell, don't feel bad about cussing on stage and saying damn surprise, because old golden tongue there, Lukas, set the bar pretty high already tonight. We don't want anybody to try to top Wayne Lukas. It's tough to do, so just let it go. All right, on to our divisional champions now. Thank you, Butch Wise, as well. We will welcome back Mrs. President and Sandy Arledge, returning to the stage for our final awards this evening, and we are getting into the final awards. Only 3 horses each year are eligible to be voted world champion of the Racing American Quarter Horse division. They include the champion 2-year-old, the champion 3-year-old, and the champion aged horse. Before we crown the world champions, we will meet the division winners. This evening, we awarded championships to 3 deserving freshmen. You remember that, the 2-year-olds. We combined to earn over $2.8 million of those 2-year-olds. They included the champion colt, A Revenant, the champion filly, Corona's First Diva, and the champion gelding, Imperial Eagle. Of those 3, 1 will be named the AQHA champion 2-year-old. That is Imperial Eagle.
Running in the All-American Futurity, a good break from all. Speed for Corona's First Diva, Imperial Eagle. The apolitical chat floated to the outside. Down at the rail is Magical Jess. Then it is the Marfa Lights, and Cool and Famous is trying to come on. And it is Corona's First Diva. Here comes the Marfa Lights, Imperial Eagle, Imperial Eagle.
Imperial Eagle, of course, by One Famous Eagle out of a Genuine Joy. Freda Draper's mare as well, and what a terrific campaign. Obviously, some of the folks we've seen already as well. A big band of them as we welcome back the champion 2-year-old in Imperial Eagle. Everybody get friendly with each other. Short ones in front, tall ones in back, I think is the point we're at right now. That would include you folks in back. Is that good? Yeah. Snug up closer, please. You need to be here. And scoot over there a little bit, Tony. Tall ones in back, shorter ones in front. Look, only... Never mind.
Get out of the picture, Catulak.
I was going to emphasize what was not going to be in the magazine, but evidently my hand will. All right, thank you. Don't go far, but go far enough to move on to our 3-year-olds, which we are going to announce right now. Next, on to our 3-year-old champion. This year's 3-year-olds provided some historic performances around the country. Champions include 3-year-old champion Colt, EC Jet 1, 3-year-old champion Filly, Volcom Bay, and 3-year-old champion Gelding in Zoomin' for Buds. But our 3-year-old overall champion 3-year-old, is EC Jet 1.
They're running in the All-American Derby. Volcom Bay drifted out a little at the start. Celtic Emblem to her inside. Do battle early. Extreme outside Jess Envision. And now here comes EC Jet 1. And then along the inside, a Fulton Classic. EC Jet 1 battles away with Volcom Bay. And then it's Celtic Emblem. And here comes Braveheart 1. EC Jet 1.
There you go, EC Jet 1, 3-year-old champion, owned by Enrique Carrion and trained by Judd Curl. Okay, make room together collectively. Thank you and congratulations, and they'll find a spot for them, please. The last division award for this evening is the Aged Champion Division. All 3 champions showed incredible consistency in their performances with 9 stakes victories in the 18 starts between all of them. They include Champion Stallion, Moon and the Eagle, the Champion Age Mare Sass Me Blue, and Champion Gelding in Jesse's First Down. 2016 Age Champion is Jesse's First Down.
Goes in there, all in line. Racing in the Zia Park Quarter Horse Championship and zooming effortlessly, didn't get away all that well. Apolitical, okay, got a very good break on the far outside. Now zooming effortlessly, he's trying to move in. TF, I'm that guy's towards the inside. Also right there is Jesse's First Down. They come down to the final 220. Jesse's First Down on the inside, on the outside, zooming effortlessly, and Jesse's First Down. These two are going to battle it out. Jesse's First Down, and it's very close, but I believe Jesse's First Down is upset, zooming effortlessly in the Zia Park Quarter Horse Championship.
You got it right, it was Jesse's First Down, one of his biggest wins. Again, 8 wins in 2016 and 5 stakes wins as well. Okay, now we would like all 3 groups to kind of find Jesse's First Down group over here, but stay tight together. Don't wander too far off, Ted. Everybody, we need 3 groups together. Not that far, Ted. Nancy, bring them on back, please. 3-year-old here, older here, and 2-year-old here. And then everybody come together. Think group, but think individual groups. Sets and subsets, people. Don't you remember your math? Okay. This is the best I can do. I don't need this. Our world champion, 2016 world champion racing quarter horse is Jesse's First Down.
Off Jesse's First Down. Got out better than zooming effortlessly. A good start Ferrari GT, and also driving on the inside Rattle and Battle, TF I'm That Guy, and Roman Soldier CD. Jesse's First Down, and right down the outside Ferrari GT. Running on is zooming effortlessly, and on the inside is TF I'm That Guy. Jesse's First Down. Jesse's First Down in a photo with zooming effortlessly, who lunged late.
Jesse's First Down by FDD Dynasty, of course. We must emphasize that as well. And we got pedigree, and we've got one very happy man in Ted and Nancy over there with Dale Dave.
All right, Ted, congratulations. World champion. You had the other championship. Now you get the whole thing. Congratulations. Your thought.
Thank you. First, you've got to thank God for all his blessings. He's given me the fastest horse in the world and the prettiest wife in the world. And then we got to talk about the trainers. Mr. Lukas spoke earlier about work ethic. I don't think anybody in the business could have more work ethic than Judd's got. You go to any of his facilities, there's always people working very hard and diligently. Pardon me. You go to his place in New Waverly, it's like an ant bed around there. People are working so hard and getting so much done. And then his team as well. Jimmy Pageant Jimmy is so dedicated to the horse business. And when we were running in Zia against Zoom and Effortlessly, I told Judd, I said, Jimmy's got to come because he's my lucky charm. And so Jimmy got on an airplane knowing he was going to get air sickness, flew all the way to Hobbs with his head stuck in a plastic bag, and we won the race. And then Javier, Judd's groom that takes care of Jesse, according to Judd, nobody can touch the horse except for Javier. He does everything for the horse. And Judd and Javier and Jimmy and Rodrigo have been so good for the horse. They've done all this work. Nancy and I have gone along for the ride, and what a ride it's been.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does the ride continue now?
Pardon me?
The ride's going to continue, right?
Yes, hopefully so. We'll run him as long as he wants to run. When he doesn't, he can eat grass for the rest of his life.
Amen.
Congratulations, Ted Abrams.
We'll have you huddle up for one more group photo, and folks, don't leave just yet. I've got a special treat for everyone here in this room. Is that how you want them? We'll make this one right. Ted, come this way. Everybody scooch this way. Want him to step forward at all? There's the photographers out there. Okay, special treat for everybody. If you stick around and just listen, I've got 2 more pages of important stuff to read, and there's a special treat for you at the end. First of all, I want to thank Sarah Davison, Doug McElraith with his crew there, Matt, Adrian, Tanner have all helped out significantly, Janet Von Beber, the newly promoted Jessica Hankey as well, and Andrea Caudell. Now here's some of the stuff I have to read. Just a reminder that AQHA Member Services will team up at the Heritage Place Winter Mix Sale. You know about that. That's part of the reason why you're here. Be sure to stop by the AQHA booth for all of your membership needs. We need your membership, folks. We encourage you to participate in AQHA if your membership has lapsed, or join if you're new. We also have Robin Glenn pedigrees represent on site to assist you in your RGP catalog app. We've got a nice app for you to help out with your pedigrees. Each of you are invited to attend tomorrow here at Heritage Place, the public policy meeting discussing AQHA's public policy checkoff program that will help AQA's legislative efforts and ensure our industry's voice to be heard. The meeting will also be held right here, as I mentioned, at 9 o'clock. Then on Friday, it's the Hispanic Open Forum meeting at 8:30. We encourage folks to come as well, recognize the impact of the Hispanic involvement in the AQHA. Talk to Janet more about that. That's on Friday morning at 8:30. Also, if you were an award winner, we need you to stick around. We've got some more photos, some more presentations. Some of them will be mailed out to you as well. If you're given an envelope, the envelope will be encouraged to return it back to us by February 6th, and a lot of jibbery-jabbery stuff after that. We're glad you've stuck around. Thanks to my co-host, Dale Day, for what we really look forward to every winter. It is a lot of fun. We encourage you to come out. And that special treat now, those of you that stuck around, the bar's open. I'll buy one of you a drink, and if somebody can loan me 100, maybe a few more than one. Thanks for sticking around. We appreciate your participation. Those of you that even knew you were not up for award, to come and support the others, you're a class act. Thanks, Wayne Lukas, who's over there to talk more if you let him.